All right, let's get into it. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Lots to talk about, John. Lots to talk about.
We're on the Barstool Sports Network.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been doing at least one and mostly two episodes a week for the better part of a decade. No drama, no complaints. Also, no fucking, meteoric rise to the top of millions of dollars. But hey, we are on the Barstool Sports Network. We always have been. We probably always will be. And that's more than you can say for some other shows. Call Her Daddy at the center of everything. The internet buzzing. And what a fucking soap opera this is. We got boyfriends. We got backstabbing. We got millions of dollars.
Dude, in my last 12 hours, I went on such a crash course with this because I knew we were going to talk about it. I didn't even know they weren't on the show. I didn't know they weren't airing shows. I'm so lost with this stuff where, I just bury my head in the sand just because I'm like, well, it doesn't concern me, so who gives a shit? Absolutely. I didn't realize there was any of this shit going on. But I'm up to date now. I'm quite up to date.
I mean, let's start by saying that Peter Nelson, that dude stinks.
Dude,
he sucks so much.
I want them to come back just because it's good for the company and all that stuff. And I guess I don't really give a shit. Well, I mean, yes, I want Barstool Sports to do well. I never thought of them as Barstool Sports. That's why I didn't really give a shit about them. I think they're fucking frauds and assholes. But I don't know how it can come back after Peter Nelson ruined Call Her Daddy, and not just by his actions. I mean, his very existence, his
presence, his involvement, his overwhelming
I don't even mean that. I just mean once you saw his picture, you were just like, oh fuck these girls. Stop. This is what you guys are fucking talking about. It's in the exact opposite of a monster movie. Yes. Where it's always scarier when you don't see the monster. So the idea of this suit man was oh, these girls are fucking hot dudes and high power guys. I see this fucking dingbat. I have I already didn't really have respect for not respect, because I respect their show, but I just didn't like them as people. It was I don't know. I don't even know them, but I just didn't care for them. It was, they were similar to Rappaport with me, where the second they came in, I was like, well, I don't like your vibe.
Rubs you the wrong way. Yeah.
I think we did that. We probably not a great career choice by us, but I think Dave did ask us to do a show with them, and we were like, no.
When they first started, there was this is the female version of John and Kevin. It would be a great crossover. And at that point, they hadn't blown up. And at that point, like you just described, that was pretty much everyone's experience, where it was oh, I don't really enjoy this. And we were KFC Radio, we're desperately trying to keep Call Her Daddy away from us. We are not good businessmen.
But I stand by that, because I didn't want to be in it's in a sex show. Sometimes we tell a joke, but I didn't want to be on a show with them. I don't know, just fucking. I don't even know what their show is. I've never listened to their show. I saw that one clip about a jalapeno seed. That's all I know about Call Her Daddy. I didn't care for that. I was I don't want to be part of this. Dumb move, absolutely idiotic, boneheaded move. It's
if we could have been a part of the Daddy Gang, but that's the thing.
Actually, it's not a dumb move.
Well, if looking back, I thought oh man, Alex and Sophia would have collabed with us every week, and we would have risen together. Then I would be oh fuck, they want no part of us. They want no part of Barstool. They want no part of certainly us. No. It would not have been a missed opportunity. It would have been a one-time thing that really didn't matter for either of us.
Right. Yeah. So it's nice to say we rejected them. Fuck off.
Right. So did you see there's a TikTok that's going viral? Viva La Stool tweeted it, and it said exactly what you're describing. It said what we thought Alex and Sophia's mans look like. And there's a picture of Dansby Swanson and Bryce Hart, all these sexy baseball players. And then there's these GQ models and David Beckham in a suit. And then it shows Peter Nelson and Syndergaard looking balding and shit. Which is that's just
I don't understand. If your whole thing is fuck men, and you call me daddy, and then you lose your job because fucking some guy in a suit convinced you to.
Crazy.
How do you listen to anything ever again?
And you know what's really crazy it sounds to me, what I've heard from Dave on the rundown, it sounds like when Dave came and made, and we'll talk about Dave's negotiating in a second. I want to get your thoughts on that. But it sounds like Dave came back and made them like an awesome offer that even they realized like we can't refuse this. And it sounds like Sophia was saying basically, well, Peter like stuck his neck out for this to make this happen. And we can't do anything to make him look bad. Like, you want to talk about daddy move? Daddy shit would have been like, sorry, bro, peace.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck that you stuck your neck out at work. Men ain't shit. And instead it was like, I don't want my boyfriend to be in trouble at work. So the whole idea of a dude, a boyfriend Yoko Ono taking down the daddy Beatles is like, holy shit. Chef's kiss to anybody who was railing against the daddy gang. Because no matter how much money they make and how big they get, that like being the vibe around them is just a vibe killer.
It really is. Like, I mean that wholeheartedly. I don't see, now again, I wasn't a fan, so it doesn't really affect me to begin with, but like, if everything that someone's been telling you is not the way they live, like I think people first of all thought that like the show was very real. I think it's kind of been put out now that like it's a very edited, scripted show, which is fine. It's fine to do scripted shows. It's a little lame when you're pretending it's not.
Right.
But like scripted shows exist. I enjoy scripted shows. It's fine.
Right.
But like when you're just like it's all fake. I feel like the part of Barstool that we always liked is it's all real. Right. And it's just like an exactly opposite world with them. And that's kind of why I always like avoided just like even interacting or learning about anything with them because they bring up complicated emotions with me. And I avoid those kinds of things where it's like part of me resents them because they came into Barstool and it was like, you're like, oh, you're not like, we've been doing it this way for 15 years or 10 years, however long we've all been here. Like, you're not doing it the way you're not doing it. And like, I resented that. Mm-hmm. And then like part of it, there's obvious jealousy where it's just like, well, they're a really big podcast. Why maybe people just like them more? That hurts to like fucking realize that. So like everything with them, I try and avoid. And now that I'm really reading into it because of all this, I hate them. It's just a blanket hate now.
Yeah, no. And what's crazy, what Call Her Daddy made me realize is how many people there are in the world, because Barstool is deep. There are millions of stoolies. And I would say like the vast majority, at least of the vocal ones who are on social media and writing emails and shit like that, giving feedback, all like to a man or woman hated them. And yet they're the biggest podcast on the internet. So that either means the world's bigger than I thought, or a lot more people are liars than I thought. Like they're listening as a guilty pleasure, or there's just that many people to pull from the podcast audience that like the daddy gang can be completely separate from Barstool in a way and still be, like, I mean, dude, they took off like 4 episodes. They took off like a month, and Dave said it cost $300,000 to $400,000 of revenue.
That's a lot. That's
like,
great.
If you're talking $100,000 an episode of advertising, is that the real deal? Like maybe he meant, I don't know. If it's just straight up like we do a couple ad reads for like $45,000 each, that's fucking insanity.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, and that's where, I mean, and to put it in perspective again, I don't know the numbers. I don't know. We know as much as fucking fans do about the inside numbers of Barstool. They must have been making an ungodly amount of money for Dave Portnoy to bite his tongue the way he has. Like,
yeah.
And maybe I think it's a combination. I think it's money, and I think it's the fact that they're girls. I think if an OG Barstool person or just a regular Barstool person tried to do these demands and tried to bully him in negotiation, it would all be public instantly. I mean, Jared Carrabba's had like one conversation with a guy who was like, hey, you ever think about coming to EEI? And Dave was like, you rat motherfucker. I mean, like, you can't talk about anything or anybody without Dave put you on blast. But I think when it's a guy, he feels a little more threatened. And when it's a girl, it's like it's out of sight, out of mind. But I also think, like, for anybody who at Barstool who might be thinking, like, how come I don't fucking get treated like this? Because you don't make even a fraction of the money that these girls apparently were making. And I can't even knock it. Like,
part of it.
Some people threw out like they're mad about the money they were making. That was an incentive-based contract. They earned every fucking dime they made. And like that was as capitalistic as it gets. Although I will say, I had a girl.
I figured that would happen, that people would get mad, like they made X money. I thought it was so obvious that, like, well, yeah, they were worth that much money.
They got 75,000 base, and they just made, several hundred more off of merch and download bonuses and stuff. I will say that I got a call on CCK today, and it was a girl being like, every episode, those girls talk about how poor they are, and they were clearing $500,000. So that's another thing where it's like, this is all.
Yeah, like we kind of said, it's all fake, kind of. It's all like. It reminds me of like those curated Twitter boys that KB tweets about. Right. Where it's like, I'm like the wholesome boys. It's like the exact opposite of that. It's just the hoey girls. And it's like, I'm sure to an extent it's how they live their lives, but also.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they suck some dick every now and then. Yeah. I had a call, that same girl.
Do you think there's any chance, like, could they be friends again? Is there any chance this podcast come back?
I think the podcast comes back with just Alex. It sounds like Alex wants back in. Dave says he thinks Alex will be back and she will be like totally different and will be like in the mix at Barstool. I think that ship has sailed.
Probably gonna have to delete a bunch of this stuff then.
No. That's the point. No, is that like she might want to be like cool with us now, but it's like we all like said hello and you had your chance. Although I guess we
Alex does seem like I don't fucking know. I was gonna try and save something there. Whatever.
No, Alex is for sure like the better, more talented, hard worker, driving force of it for sure. But I think like once Sophia Franklin better fucking marry that dude because like she had the golden ticket.
Oh, man. There's no chance. They're already broken up. They're already broken up.
1,000%.
When everyone on Twitter is that mean to you, that relationship is done.
It's a wrap.
There's no way you can. They'll resent each other so much forever. For one, Sophia losing her job, and two, Peter Nelson.
Yep.
Just like everyone just destroying this man. Like he'll never be able to think he's handsome ever again. Like sometimes you have a moment where you look in the mirror like, oh, I look good today. Peter Nelson's never getting another one of those. They're done.
Never happening.
The entire Twitter and like mean like college, high school girl. I imagine that's what the Call Her Daddy demographic is. Those are the meanest people on the planet.
Roasting you.
Right. And they're just destroy and like he'll never have happiness ever again. Nope. And that's because of Sophia. So you have to just break up. That can never that relationship could never come back. Ever.
There was a tweet. Let me see. This was just from like a regular girl. Nobody famous. Just said, Sophia, boo, you ruined your whole ass career for a man who looks like this. Not very daddy of you. Random girl, 600 retweets, 2,500 likes, like immediately like that too, right as the episode dropped. And there's probably millions more. Now, I knowing you, I'm almost positive you did not go ahead and read his Forbes 40 under 40.
No.
Okay.
Where was this? Where did I even come across this thing? Like, you think I Googled this guy?
Well, no, Dave mentioned it in his video. He's like, go Google Peter Franklin's 40 under 40. And I'm going to read it to you now, at least a couple bits, just to like, just in case people are thinking we're being like, jealous or haters or whatever. Like, this is like undeniable proof. This guy stinks so bad. First of all, he went to HBO Sports. He got rid of boxing. He brought in Bill Simmons and he brought in LeBron. So when you think of Barstool and him, you got rid of like Dave's favorite sport, the sweet science. You brought in LeBron James and Bill Simmons. Dave has been like unknowingly torpedoing everything this guy's ever done at HBO Sports. So they did this little they did a whole interview on him, but then they did like a quick question answer. What gets you fired up? First of all, 37 from Newton, Mass. Went to Harvard, got his degree in ancient Greek.
What?
I mean, can you even script it, dude? Like, you studied ancient Greek? What an absolute waste of fucking time to just be a pretentious asshole, no?
I mean, that's unbelievable.
What gets you fired up? New ideas. Oh, my God. Profession you'd like to most attempt, competitive eater. Guilty pleasure, staying off of social media. Something your friends would consider, quote unquote,
putting that one to the test today.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Wait, you think that's his guilty pleasure?
His guilty pleasure is staying off social media, and
everyone's guilty pleasure is social media.
Right.
That's the lamest guilty pleasure of all time. My guilty pleasure is no one else's guilty pleasure. Oh, you're a son of a bitch.
He's the worst. Something your friends would consider, quote, so you, not tweeting. Like, all right, dude, we get it.
Yeah. This guy's got more burner accounts than KD. Like, if you're being this fucking out there.
For sure. This is, if you talk about how much you respect women, you're a scumbag. If you were talking about how much you're not on Twitter, you're on it. If you talk about how you hate gay people, you're sucking dick. These are just like facts. Something you could not go a day without. What would be your answer for that, John? Your phone, Twitter, food, whatever, right? Peter Nelson says, brave news reporting. It's like, get the fuck. Like, literally, you know what's one thing I could go a day without? The fucking news, man. News reporting, that's always the goddamn worst. That's like the worst.
What the hell is this dude stinks a mile long.
It gets better. It gets better. Your cause that you support, the American Ballet Theater. Now, I know you're a Broadway guy, John, and you're into the arts, but when you're at HBO Sports and you're specifying that your main cause is the American Ballet Company, just stop.
No, how does he not get fired right away? Like this is such a clear. This man is not up for the job. Right. I don't know what the job is. It doesn't matter what the job is. Any job. This guy's not right.
What that one, especially that one, like HBO Sports. All right, we got to get new. We got to get young. What are 18 to 35 males and women looking at? Like, how are we going to get digital? What are we going to go do on the internet? Oh, well, I'm not on my phone. I like the ballet and I want to do news. But fuck out of here, man. What the sports industry needs to do a better job of. Elevating women's stories. Like, as you go and torpedo your girlfriend's career because you probably had to have more control over her. Ideal day off without my phone. Like, I hate the whole blah, blah, blah is not a personality trait, but not being on social media, not having a phone, not a personality.
You can't say it 4 times in an interview. I got it.
Well, you understand.
You don't like your phone. Fine.
Do you have anything interesting to talk about? So what I think, the reason I keep going on about this fucking quagmire.
Look, I hated this guy. I judged a book by its cover. And I'll tell you what, the cover was more interesting than the book was.
The cover was better, yeah.
I judged it with hatred. And then I read a few pages of the book just now. And it's even worse than I expected. I'm
justified in my hatred. It makes perfect sense. And that is the reason why I think that Call Her Daddy will be back. It won't be with Sophia, but it will be because whether you're Daddy Gang or Team Portnoy, everybody's going to say, fuck Peter Nelson. Right. So it almost allows this third party where everyone can say, all right, well, the podcast is back. Hey, we deal with our differences. Don't worry about that. Fuck this guy. And I mean, I was thinking, I listened to Boomer and Carton for 10 years. Carton is like a fucking radio professional, like an all-timer. And they swapped in Greg Giannotti for him. And like in the beginning, it was a little weird. And now I just completely watched that show. Fine, no problem. Dan left KFC Radio and like, we're fine. Like, we're talking about shows with really talented people that left that can survive. If Alex Cooper gets another girl who will openly talk about fucking dudes, they're fine. They're fine. If you're thinking deeply about it, you'll probably think everything we've said. Like, you let a man blow it up and you're not really, you're frauds and this and that. But people don't do that. We do that because it's in our world and we're podcast nerds. But the average person are just tuning in because they want to hear hot girls talk about sucking dick.
Were they friends before Barstool? Or like before the podcast? Before
Barstool, I don't know about before the podcast. I know they were roommates, so they must have had some connection. But
I don't understand how like this. The most baffling thing to me is like letting like an actual friendship go. Yeah. If that's what they had, right. Like I'd be like, well, I don't know. I can't even think of a situation in which like I would hang you out to dry or I'd be like, all right. Let's just do that one then.
But I also guess like if all of a sudden I came to you and was like, yo, my wife says that we should fucking hold them ransom and like not go to work and I'm not showing up, I think you'd be like,
oh yeah, but that's what I was picturing in my head. I'm Sophia. I'm the sidekick in my own fantasies.
Got it.
I would have just been like, yeah, I'll just I'm just going to do the thing we do. Like, I'm not going to listen to this person who I met probably within the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's definitely not like, I don't think it's like a lifelong thing, like when they were like second grade or some shit. But also at the end of the day, are you surprised that two like hot chicks who love attention and money are not getting along anymore? Like, I
love attention and money too.
Yeah, but you're a guy. You
like
know,
those
girls.
Those two things I'm quite a big fan of. And it's like, I don't know.
So Nardini went on her podcast too, by the way. She was playing for fucking keeps. Like, she was talking about HBO being like, aren't you guys fucking embarrassed to this dude? She was calling out their agents. She was calling out Wondery. Wondery was ready to sign a deal to them knowing that they already had a contract with us. And you know what? I'm just sitting here being like, we've never brought any agent bullshit. We've never had any drama. We've never missed work. We've never just motherfucker. Why aren't we hot sluts, man? Why aren't we hot sluts?
I think
we're at least pretending to be hot sluts. All right, so that's the daddy saga. I would imagine. You think there's overlap between KFC Radio and Call Me Daddy?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd imagine all hardcore KFC Radio listeners, or even casual, would hate those girls.
I mean, look, I hate the character. I don't know the people, but I hate the character.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
We'll see what happens when she's like back in the office, apparently, or something. Like, oh boy.
I don't think we're gonna. I would be surprised to see her. Like, it was all Sophia's idea to not be at Barstool.
No, that's the thing. Dave was just like,
I don't think losing Sophia changes that.
Yeah, unless there's just like an apology or like an epiphany where it's like, oh wow, I really fucked up. I'm pretty sure she feels the same way about Barstool. But boy, I would love to know what's going on right now in the Franklin Nelson house. Like, so, hun, what's up? Like, well, I don't know. I'm the laughing stock of the industry, and like all of social media is making fun of me. How are you, babe? Like,
I'm out of a job, so I live here now. I'm out of a job and a best friend and a roommate. So guess who I am?
Guess what? And that's where, I mean, if there's ever been a call for the preemptive breakup, not even preemptive, it's just time, because take it from your boy. Once someone does something that sets the entire public and social media to sick on you every day of your life, ain't no coming back from that. So, little daddy talk was brought to you by Roman, very apropos. I'm sure everybody knows Roman now as dick pills and hair growth, but also Roman is now tackling the subject of your skin, because, you know, you can have a great head of hair, you can have a big old dick that works great during sex, but if you got gross skin, you got acne, redness, dark spots, wrinkles, all that shit, you're gross. Finding treatment that works can be complicated, especially for guys. We're not used to makeup and lotions and creams and serums and all that shit, Sephora. So they're going to guide us with doctors, with real skincare that actually performs. And so you're not going to get overwhelmed. They make it convenient. You can get a customized prescription skincare that performs for you by just grabbing your phone or computer and getting a free online consultation. They can create a custom blend based on your skin type and priorities, and you can get your treatment delivered to you with free 2-day shipping. You also get free unlimited follow-ups with your doctor if you change your mind, change your plan, whatever. No commitments, cancel anytime. Go to GetRoman.com/Barstool offer for a free online visit. That's GetRoman.com/Barstool offer. And the doctors at Roman will come up with a plan for you to fix your gross, weird, wrinkly knees. If you've got weird knees, these guys... what is that?
I don't think they're that weird.
I actually don't either, to be honest. So this weekend, John Henry posted a Instagram.
Let's call that what it was. That was a thirst trap.
Well, that's what you thought it was. You thought you were posting a thirst trap, and you had your Birkenstocks and your socks on, and your short shorts, and your guns out, and but unfortunately your knees were out, and apparently your knees. I honestly. I still don't really get it. I mean, I think everybody's knees are kind of weird and wrinkly, and the amount that the internet will just ridicule you for everything about your appearance. Like, I almost feel bad for Peter Nelson, that quagmire motherfucker, when I think about your knees, because it's just like, I don't know. I looked at his fucking face and his shirt. I don't know.
It's a cool shirt. I should have cropped it. It was a cool shirt.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. One thing I can tell you. If you're going to have everyone make fun of a part of your body, knees might be number one.
One.
Okay. There's nothing I can do about the knees.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, want to make fun of my stomach, want to make fun of my boobs, want to make fun of my nose. Those are all things that I do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But my knees, they're knees. And that's all you can do with them. They work okay. I crack them now and again.
Yeah. I feel like it's similar to having like bad feet, maybe. Like, do I want my toes all mangled and shit? No, but most of the time they're hidden and they're not like a sexual thing. No one's like kissing or touching your knees. It's just like, all right, it could be better, I guess. But now it's just a thing, John's knees.
What do you think? What are the worst body parts to have be a bad thing?
Your face, your stomach.
I think you got to go more specific.
Oh, okay.
What?
I would.
Bad penis.
You're putting penis number one?
As far as because that changes your whole worldview.
That probably does. Like if you grow up with a bad dick, you're like timid and you don't want to show it and you're just not confident. But I would also say that like if you just got like a gross mouth, like bad teeth, like no one even wants to be around you ever.
Yeah, you're automatically like if you have a gross mouth, people just think you're stupid.
Yeah,
like,
you're dumb, you're poor,
There's nothing else where like if you look at it and it's bad, you're like that person's dumb.
Right.
Like you see a fat person, you don't immediately think idiot.
Right.
But you see someone with gross mouth.
Yep.
Idiot. Stupid fool.
Stupid. You're poor. Your family couldn't afford what? Braces at all? Like what's going on here? I think the lowest of you when you got bad teeth. That's the Cardi B, bro. Like I got my money, I fixed my teeth. That should be the first thing you do if you got money and you're ugly. Fix your mouth first before your tits or your face or your hair, whatever. Get teeth because that shit is gross without it.
The nose is a bad one. Nose is one that has it's hindered my life. So nose gets on a top 5.
But you know what? Like, yeah, I mean, having a nice nose, I can't speak from experience, but I feel like also having a big nose is like enough of a thing that enough people have gone through. Like, what do you always say? Like, it's a Caesar's nose or some shit like that.
It's a Roman nose, Kevin.
Roman nose.
Exactly.
Like, you almost have some ammo because you're like, me and my fellow big nose guys know how to combat this. I feel like if you have,
I was never a combatant. It was like,
it is.
I just got made fun of. I was just like, yeah, you're right. It's a huge nose. I don't know what to tell you. We had to change the setup at KFC Radio because when I turn, we've never done it, but I think about it. It's on the white screen and it's just like highlighting.
I didn't know that. Why did you say something? Well, fix
it. People tweeted at me, be like, when you turn, your nose gets huge. I'm like, well, it's always huge.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to make the background when we get back like flesh colored and it'll just blend in. You won't even know where the nose starts and stops.
It's just like people just make fun. We just walk into school, be like, what's up, big nose? Like that's just something I had to deal with my whole life.
People are just so mean and it's so funny. Like I tweeted out Peter Nelson and he looks like Quagmire. They said he looks like the Stonehead sculptures from Easter Island. They said he looks like Jigsaw. They said he looks like Teddy Perkins from Atlanta when he's dressed up in whiteface. He looks like Farquaad from Shrek. It's just like all of it is so
He really doesn't look like a human being. It's like it doesn't make sense.
He looks like in Men in Black when an alien would take over a human body, but it would be a little just bit out of shape, So people can be brutal, but that's where I think that like your dick is more about you because nobody sees it until you allow them to.
That's the test,
right? But if you have your own insecurities like on the inside because of it, you're fucked. Whereas if you got bad mouth, bad nose, like a lazy eye, bad hair, balding, like people are just going to let you know about it all the time.
It's one of those things where it sucks too because it's just like you can't say anything. Like if you're just not pretty, it's one of the worst things in the world.
At least if you're fat, you can be like, I could lose the weight.
Right.
If you're ugly, it's like, I mean, I'm not getting surgery. I'm just ugly.
Dude, I can like tweet a blog where it's like something like heartfelt or like a great fucking point I'm making in a post. And some son of a bitch can just say whatever, big nose. And there's nothing I can do.
Whatever, big nose.
I'm just broken from there. Like, I'm just shredded. I want to go Peter Nelson and just avoid the internet because like someone accurately described my nose. And it's just like, whatever, fine.
You win again. Damn you, internet.
It's why you can't fight with children, because they just know the thing to get you right away. Children are just like
they don't even know it. They will look at you, and kids will be like, make fun of his tits, and like they don't even know how much it's going to hurt you, but it's correct.
There's nothing meaner you can do or say to somebody than just accurately describing them.
Yeah. So my kids do it to me by accident all the time. They'll be like they'll just like, my kids will just call me fat. Like Shay will just be like, Daddy, you got a big butt. I'm like, I fucking know. Or like Keegan came up to me the other day and was just like playing the bongos on me and was just like, your belly's soft. So I was like, fuck, damn it, you're my own flesh and blood.
But also, you know, what's even bigger than that too is like accurately describing what someone does. And just being like, this is who you are as a person, and I can sum it up in a sentence.
Right.
And you're like, God, you're right. Like we do it at work. We're just like, but I think Nate is the one who does it the most. But Nate just be like, oh, I'm KFC radio. Look, and like if you just say exactly what it is we do in a little bit of a voice, and you can sum it up in a tweet, it's so mean. I used to get so mad about it when people would do it, like when Savage the Boys was big. And oh, it's John Feidelberg, Savage the Boys. I'm like, you're right. I hate
it. That's why you always got to be interesting. Always be interesting enough that people can't put you in like a tweet. You know, like, no. There's more. There's more. You're leaving it out.
But there isn't. But no one has more.
No. Everybody has their one thing that someone can go, I'm and you'd be like, fuck, you're right.
Right. Like, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm John. I do accounting. Like, you're right, dude. That's what I do with the majority of my life. Like, you're right. But when you say it like that, it's so mean.
Yep. I wonder if, like, how big do you have to get to be above that? Like you can't do that to Michael Jordan, right?
Oh, look at me, I'm the sneaker guy.
Yeah, like I mean, you can, but
if I said that to Michael Jordan's face, he would be offended. Like,
oh, I sell my sneakers that I play basketball in. Like, yeah, I made $1 billion. Still, whatever, dude.
Yeah, like, go sell some more sneaks, Mike. You can't. It's so perfect. Like, it's so perfect. Oh, I'm Bobby Orr. I play hockey. Do DiCaprio. Do DiCaprio. Oh, look at me. I'm king of the world.
Do George Clooney.
I robbed the banks. Oh shit, no, I robbed the banks. Like, hey, you see that casino? Gonna rob it.
No, you know what'd be a good one? I make small craft tequila by myself. I do my own tequila. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it made me Casamigos, bro. Yeah, whatever, tequila guy. Oh yeah, look at me, I drink tequila. Yeah, I love it. It's so true. Like nobody's safe out here, man. And everybody's insecure. It's so important to remember. And this is what I really love about like most comedians. Like comedians don't ever try to pretend they're not. They'll be like, oh yeah, like we're shallow, we're vain, and we need acceptance. And if you don't give it to us, it hurts. But to think about some of like the top people of the world that like you can, if you know the right way, you can get them.
It's accurately describing the meanest. That's why kids is just accurately describe what I do in my life. Like, if you, like, oh, I'm John, I do podcasts. Yeah. 100%. Most of my life is either sleeping or podcasting. You're right. It. That's when I'm conscious. It's what I do the most. It's even just summing up a little word. That's
whatever,
it.
Big nose. Whatever, big nose. Did you see? Oh, so you didn't watch last night, did you?
I fell off The Last Dance hard. You want to know why I fell off hard? Because I learned that you could just watch something else and get everything.
What do you mean?
Like it's just like people tweeted the good parts.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
clip notes of it, right? It's like I don't need. I thought there was too much time. I thought 10 hours was too long, and it was right. I could watch Scrubs reruns last night, which I did, and I could get the pizza thing, which I already knew.
Yep.
And then like what was the other? Was there anything else big?
The pizza thing happened. MJ went into like talking about how they all would have come back for another year. Like it was not their decision to end it, which is always interesting. He's like,
but also like, did you see Jerry Krause's article?
No.
So it's from Jerry Krause's book that was never published. And Jerry Krause describes like, he doesn't seem like a bad guy anymore.
Yeah. I was going to say like, this is Michael's version. We had Frank Brikowski, a Sonics center on last week on the radio. And he lives next to Phil Jackson out in Montana. And after the first 2 episodes aired, he texted Phil and said, "What do you think?" And Phil wrote back, "Well, it's definitely Michael's version." So there's Phil's version, there's Scotty's version, there's Jerry's version, there's the other Jerry's version. And I'm sure they differ greatly.
Jerry's breakdown, which if it was real, it was like, I didn't realize where everyone went after the year after. Like Dennis Rodman played 30 more games.
What's that? What'd you say?
Dennis Rodman played 30 more NBA.
Yeah, like the worm was definitely washed up, but like that was Michael's point was like Dennis would come back to play with me. I would come back and play with Phil. Scotty would have been tough to convince, but if Scotty would all of a sudden be the guy who was going to miss out on 7 to go play elsewhere, he's coming back. Steve Kerr would have come back. He basically was like, we could have got the band together for one more try. Now, Phil was the one, Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner, went to him and said, I don't care what Jerry Krause said. You've earned the right to coach again. And he said, I want to take a break. So you could put the blame on him.
Right.
It's not just, it's very easy to blame the fat curmudgeon dead guy.
Yeah. He in this article too, he's like, look, I took care of everybody. He's like, Scotty, we did a sign and trade for so he could be eligible to pay $20 million more on that contract. Like we didn't have to sign and trade him. We could have just let him go somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's like, I called Luke Longley. I called Steve Kerr. I said, we are not going to get in a bidding war for you, so take the first good deal you see. He's like, I didn't tell people about Scotty's decline, like about his declining health. I'm sorry, about Dennis's declining health. I let him get a big deal. I let everyone. I made sure. He said he like sat down with like, I don't know, a bunch of the front office guys. I think he said almost the whole front office. And then he said, again, this is his version. He said, my number one rule in there was nothing that's said in here gets out. You know, if we think a guy's done, we don't share that with anybody. But everyone gets to go get their monny. And I was like, that's a pretty cool thing to do, right? If you decide the guy's done.
They, Jerry Reinsdorf last night said he was like hell-bent on not becoming the Celtics of the 80s, where I guess the Celtics held on to their crew too long and then they were just like totally hung out to dry. So like, you know, there was it wasn't like personal vendetta. There was like, this is logical. Like we've done it. And everything last night was funny. It was like, you could tell Michael was out of gas mentally and emotionally and physically. And then they cut to him being like, we were going to win 7, no problem, which, you know, it's Michael. He's probably right. But also there was plenty of writing that like, these guys are all done and they've done it. And like, it's just time to move on. There was that. There was my favorite thing. There was a really like, my favorite thing about Jordan that I've learned is Mike Wozniak, the guy with the mullet who he was boys with. His like best friend and personal assistant was that guy George, who was just like this white guy with a big burly beard. And he had this other security guard named Gus, who like took on his father figure form when his dad died and got murdered. And then eventually he got cancer. And like I'm crying over this guy Gus that I didn't even know existed a minute ago. So like hearing those stories, like it seemed like Michael kept like his inner circle was all like limo drivers and security guards. You know what I mean? Like he took care of like all the regular people like really good, which I think is the number one sign for like, is a celebrity a scumbag or not? I think is how they treat normal people. And he treated like all of them like gold. But the coolest shit was after 98, after winning the 6th, the two three-peats, who's back there? DiCaprio. Like as a fucking, 16-year-old? I don't know how old at that point. And so MJ's coming back to the locker room. He's got the hat, the shirt, the cigar, the trophy. And he's like, "Oh, what's up, boy? I was just watching the man with the iron face." And someone's like, "Iron Mask." And he's like, yeah, Iron Mask. And Leo like daps him up and he's like, "Congratulations, Michael. Like, you're awesome." I'm like, oh man, like just the cream of the fucking crop back there. Like, I know he's on top of the world with Titanic and Man in the Iron Mask, all that shit. But to get into MJ's locker room after the 6th title is like, holy fucking shit, man. Next level.
What one thing that was weird, I guess it's like you could tell, you know, the documentary was about basketball, right?
Yeah.
But like, it is weird that like there's just nothing about his family in it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everything I've read from the internet and people who know is like his first wife is not talking. Like, she is not doing this documentary. And his mom was in it. His brother was in it. Larry. Imagine being Larry Jordan. Like, I'm a bald black guy from the Jordan family. I'm just Larry. That's fucking wild.
Larry Jordan is the perfect name for him.
Perfect.
Larry
Man.
Jordan.
But you know, I'm sure Michael was like, we did the stuff about my dad, and that's like all you're getting. So, I mean, I can understand that.
But I would think like, I mean, like, he was married and he had children, right? Yeah, like during those runs.
None of that.
But I think that's interesting. Like,
so do I. I'm like, that to me, it speaks volumes. I just don't know how. Like, if you know, it's like the way we do things. Like, Dan doesn't talk about his family. I do. Like, if Dan were to do a documentary, he'd be like, we're not doing that. Uh-huh. So is it that reason, or is it like they wouldn't be involved if you asked them to? You know,
right.
Like, why is there a no? Which side is it coming from? I think is like the $1 million.
I would guess it's coming from Michael, just because I think it's so weird that they just rented his neighbors' houses to do the video. Like,
right,
do it in your house, man.
Right. Like, especially if you're just gonna do neighbor. Like, if you're like, let's make it look like I'm in a whole different place. But if it's just the house next door, it's like,
I think they said it was 3 houses in his neighborhood that they rented, and like why did you use the same one? It was all, and like you could just use your house and just fucking, I don't know, you don't have to put your address there, right? Like, you could just be in a corner.
You know what? Actually, knowing that now, the very end was like this. They played this music and they had MJ. He was like sitting in on a chair, looking out these like ceiling to floor glass doors as he like puffed on a cigar, and I'm like, that's like
his first time ever being in that room.
Right. Like, in my mind, it was like he finished the interview and then was like introspectively sitting in his favorite spot in the house. It's like, no. He was just like, all right, I'm going to go back down the block, guys. See you later.
Yeah. Stupid. Like, he didn't even drive to these places. He just walked across the street. Like, why don't you want him in your house? It's just,
right.
Being that secretive is just strange to me. And I like, there are people who are like that, and it's fine. It's just like, why are you doing that?
I guess if there was ever somebody who it would make sense for, it would be a guy like Michael, who like went to a level of fame and icon status that like nobody would ever even be able to relate to. So in honor of today's KFC Radio Top 5, we're going to be doing a little Last Dance MJ oriented list. We're going to do Top 5 Air Jordans, brought to you by Jack Pocket. Now, Jack Pocket is the best way to just play the lottery on your phone. So it lets you play Mega Millions. It lets you play Powerball, tons of other official state lottery games right on your phone. You don't have to worry about getting cash. You don't have to worry about going out to the gas station or the bodega. You don't have to see anybody during quarantine. You can get this right on your phone, play any of the local lotteries, and cash in. You could be in Jersey, Texas, New Hampshire, Arkansas, Colorado, Minnesota, Oregon, and Washington, D.C., where Jack Pocket players have won over $9 million in lottery prizes, including college football player in Minnesota who won $1 million on Powerball. So head over to jackpocket.com/barstool, and you can get a free Mega Millions or Powerball ticket when you download the app and make a deposit. You can start making money today. Must be 18 or older to play. Jack Pocket is not affiliated with and is not an agent of any state lottery. Please visit jackpocket.com/TOS for full terms of service. So, Top 5 Air Jordans. Whether you know the ins and outs of sneakers or not, you probably have had a pair or know of a pair. I know my guy, Cory G, who's on the show today, will be he was talking about the Reebok pumps he once wanted and the Jordan 1s he wore. So a lot of us have long running history with Air Jordans. I know Fights has a couple favorite pairs for being a style guy. So I believe you have first pick.
I think my list is going to be lame. I'm kind of embarrassed.
Why?
I just don't think I want to have like cool stories.
I don't have fucking cool stories either. Just what shoes I like.
But all right, so then I'm going to go with luckily I'm in my brother's room and like he just has like
oh wow, he's got the poster. Yep.
But you got to go with the ones, right?
You can go a bunch of different ways. There are 3 choices in my mind that can go number 1 overall that I will not have any beef with.
I think you kind of have to. No, because that's disingenuous. I never had ones, so I will go with 3s then.
Okay, that's another one. I won't begrudge you.
I'll go with the cement 3s.
The cement 3s. I mean, it's the shoe that saved Nike and Jordan. MJ signed. He wanted Adidas. It didn't happen. He went to Nike. The 1 was huge, made $150 million. The 2s totally stunk. He was like, all right, I'm done with Nike. And that's when Tinker Hatfield dropped the cement 3s with the elephant prints. And he was like, oh, mama. So
what's the Jordan 2 then? If the Jordan 2 stinks,
it's the most like nondescript, like
it's not even on this sheet.
Yeah, I mean, it might be on there, but I couldn't, I could tell you patent leather or elephant print or whatever, and it. Like the 2 has nothing like that. It's just like, it's got like this thing that's supposed to look like wings, kind of. They're just blah. I think 2s and 9s are maybe the worst for me. So the fact that they followed up the 1s with such a clunker. My first pick then, I don't want to, I feel like I'm just handing the 1s back to you, but my personal favorite, forever and always, the Concord 11s, the black patent leathers. I was like 12 when those came out, which was like peak, basketball. And I wanted to get cool sneakers, and that black patent leather, that shiny look was unbelievable. So, and then, since then I feel like they did the Bread 11s, they've done the Space Jam. So I think 11 is my choice.
All right, I'm going to be Kai. I'm going to hand the 1s back to you now because I never had them. So it's just fake if I take them.
Yeah.
5s.
I don't like 5s. And people hate me for 5s. People hate me for not liking 5s.
Let me make sure I'm saying about the right ones then.
You are. I think you are. Maybe 6s. 5.
No, I don't like the 5s.
6 and 7 to me look like identical.
No.
4s? You probably like 4s.
Yes, it's the 4s.
4s with like the triangle thing on the side there? Yeah. Which 4s did you have?
I think I always only had black and red.
Black and red, yeah. The Bread 4s are another like powerhouse one. In that case, I will take the 1s because I do like 1s. I do have 1s. I think at the end of the day, it's whether you go high, low, even mids. I know mids don't get a lot of love. But I think that's the one, like, is a shoe that anybody can wear. When people tell me like, I want to get sneakers, but like I'm older, I'm a white guy, I want to look like reasonable, I don't want to look silly, I tell them the 1s because it's like maybe the high tops are a little too much for you, but it's just like having a dunk. It's just like a swoosh, couple different colors, couple different panels, and you're good to go. It's the most versatile shoe of all time.
I think so. I'm learning 2 things right now. One, I didn't have as many Jordans as I ever thought. I was never like a huge Jordan guy, not an anti-Jordan guy either. But I never really had the basketball look.
Mm-hmm. So like, you're a basketball player,
right?
Yeah.
So I always kind of liked a different style shoe. But like as I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I never really had these.
Were there any pairs you ever wanted that you didn't have?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I actually like the 12s. I don't know if the 12s are a popular one, but I like the 12s. They did Drake do the what's his company?
OVO. He's done OVO 10s. I think he did 12s too, though. Yeah,
I think he did.
Almost positive he did 12s. Yeah. The OVO 12s are like the white with the gold like trim on them. But yeah, 12 would have been my next pick there. I like the playoff 12s. It's crazy though, dude. Like going back now, you put on a pair of 12s right now, and you think about playing a professional game of basketball in them. I mean, they're fucking tanks. Dude, they are like
I can't relate to basketball, but I always talk about the one of the most impressive things ever in the history of hockey. Not Bobby Orr stats, not Gretzky stats. Is that Sergei Samsonov had us all wearing white bricks. Like he completely, and it didn't stick. It was only Samsonov. It was like Nike's first skate. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's a cool ass skate, but they were so impossibly heavy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know what Gretzky did? Gretzky had us wearing fucking combat boots,
right,
to school with hockey laces. So those are my Jordans as a kid. Gretzky combat. Those look like some Columbine sneakers. Those things
are with 12s off the table, I'll go with. I've never had these, but I've always wanted to check it off. 10s. I think I'll go with 10s, which I think is a little, it's like a frowned upon 10, but there was the city, they had different city colorways. And like, it was, again, for me, it's all about like the timing. Like the 10-11s was like at MJ's peak and retirement and comeback and all that shit. So I remember the 10s at that point being like the shoe that everyone had that I didn't have. The crazy thing about the 10s is the bottom is the coolest part. The bottom just has like rows of all of his accomplishments, like his titles he won, the MVPs he's won, the gold medals he's won. So when your feet were up, it was like, that was the coolest part. But I'll go 11, 1s, 10.
Okay. I have I think weirdly, this was my first pair of them, 9s.
Really? 9s? I hate 9s.
Yeah.
You have 9s?
I think they're still actually right here.
9s were like the Baron 9s were the first, like Birmingham Barons, the colorway of the White Sox minor league team that he had. You got them on hand?
I think I believe this.
Wow, there they are. Shit, look at that. Is that like do you know when you got those?
No.
Yeah, because that's like, those are a fucking relic right there. Those are rarely retroed. The 9s. All right, in that case, I guess I'll take the 5s. I don't love them as much as other people do, but the 5s to me, kind of a very 90s, high top, big tongue, some flashy colors. I don't love the 2-3 on the side. I think that's actually pretty kind of like corny, especially considering how much of the Jordans have like an off the court look. But I'll take 5s. It's almost at that point you got to take an early one.
All right, and I think it's my last one. I'll go 6s. I actually do like some of the 6s. Like I don't like the 6s have like there's one colorway with the 6s. It's like it's a rabbit type thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
The hair Jordans, yeah, they're like
the hair Jordans. Yeah, I like those.
All right, final pick for me then. I'll fast forward to the future. I think the last Jordan ever worth its salt, worth its weight was, oh, wow. I'm on a sneaker website right now looking at the pictures. And the dude from Barstool Idol who made it to like the finals, just like a pop-up video came up. He was like the sneaker guy. So good for Kyle. He's doing well. He's over at, I don't know, fucking Hot New Hip Hop. Anyway, the last Jordan I think worthwhile. Some people will say 14 from his last games. I think it stops at 13 personally. I think that the Black Cat 13s, the Flint 13s, there's a couple cool colorways there. I never had them. I think they're a bit too clunky of like a high top, but I'll take those as like the last Jordans. Everything after that, Jordan 15.
Did they just stop trying? How did they like just get bad?
Well, I mean, I think Tinker was a huge part of that. I know Tinker has still designed a lot of the like 15 through like 34, I think we're on now. I don't know how many he had a hand in and how many he didn't, but I think it's like anything else. Like you had MJ playing in his prime and you had Tinker Hatfield making shoes in his prime.
Right.
So he had, it's like remember when Nick Pizzolatto wrote True Detective and he had been working on that one season for like his whole life. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, all right, make season 2 and season 3. And he's like, well, I'm out of gas. Tinker Hatfield, his whole life was probably like, I'm going to make shoes with elephant print. I'm going to do patent leather. I'm going to do this like triangle wing thing. And then when he did them, he was like, I don't have any fucking ideas. I'm done. Like, you want to take 20 more of these things? I don't have any good ideas. So
they told me you have to be smart for 15 minutes in your life. It's been 3 years.
Right, pretty much. So you could really make the argument that MJ on the court, Tinker Hatfield designing shoes are like the two best people to ever exist at their job ever. So let us know who won. If you're a sneakerhead, you're into Jordans, whatever. Me versus fights. All right, let's get into our voicemails now. They are brought to you by Rad Power Bikes. You got to get yourself an electric bike right now. Not only will your future self thank you when you're getting back into the commute game and getting back to work, because it's an easy, cheap, environmental, cool, enjoyable way to commute to work. But right now, more than ever, I think you have to make sure that you get outside a little bit. And I'll tell you right now, you asked me to go for a walk. I'm not really interested. You asked me to go for a ride. You asked me to hop on this hog and go for a little ride on my e-bike, on my Rad Power bike. Now we're talking about an enjoyable afternoon. You got the wind blowing in your hair. You get some sunshine, some vitamin D. You get out of the house a little bit. So even if it's not important to travel around right now and transportate around, you can get a Rad Power bike and just enjoy it as like a social thing. Like hop on your bike, socially distant with people, cruise around town. Make sure you get outside there. It's been voted the best affordable electric bike in 5 different categories. It's the largest electric bike brand in North America. It is affordable and built for every purpose, whether you're commuting or getting around town, just going out in nature, cruising on the street, getting outside with your kids, whatever it may be. Rad Power Bikes is leading the charge with the electric bike industry. It's a great alternative to public transportation. You can go up to 20 miles an hour without pedaling. If you do want to pedal and get in an exercise, you can do that. And most bikes start at just $1,200, and all of them are under $1,500, whereas other e-bikes are usually double that in the $3,000 range. Right now, they're offering $100 off all e-bike purchases for active and ex-military, first responders, teachers, and students. And right now, if you text 64,000 if you text sports to 64,000, you'll get a free gift up to $100 in value and free shipping to the lower 48 states. To get this free special, go to text sports to 64,000. That's SPORTS, and get a $100 free gift when you get your e-bike from when you get your e-bike from Rad Power. Next voicemail, let's go.
KFC Fights, super producer BC. Got a question for you. So I recently went on a couple of dates with this girl. I thought we kind of broke quarantine together or whatever. I thought, we were getting along great. After our last date, this was like a third date. I texted her saying, had a great time. Would like to get together again. Let me know when you're free. And I got this brutal fucking response. Saying, hi, I had fun as well. I just think right now I need to focus on myself. Sorry, it took me a while to respond. So, absolutely fucking brutal. That one's long gone, no doubt about that. But it had me thinking, what is the worst breakup line you have ever personally received from somebody else or that you've heard of? I got to think that, I need to focus on myself right now has got to go up there as like a big bullshit breakup line. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Viva.
Well, here's the thing. 2 things about the cliche lines. Number 1, am I alone in thinking? I believe in it's not you, it's me sometimes.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, I think it can be used as a total cliche. And I think ultimately a tinge of it means like, listen, if you were perfect, I would just date you. But, like there has to be something about you that I personally don't like enough. But in the last couple of years for me, there have been many times where I've told people like, listen, my life is a fucking disaster right now. And as much as I've been like, we've been doing this, or I don't want to lead you on, like I can't go that much further because I got nothing to offer here. So I think it's not you, it's me I think the problem is people use it's not you, it's me when they're like 18. And it's like, no, it's not, bro. If you're dropping it's not you, it's me when you're 35, it's the fucking truth, man. So the problem is the rest of the people ruining it for us when it's like, I seriously mean it. And I think that the whole I'm working on myself is a variation of that sounds a little more disingenuous, but it can be real.
Dude, I don't even know if I've ever told you this one. I've been dumped once, I think. There have been just like mutual breakups and fucking all kind of shit. But then like my dump, what happened? It's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever like been involved in. So I got dumped. It was a complete surprise. I had no idea. It was like, hey, let's grab a drink. Not even there wasn't a thought in my mind like, hey, I might be getting dumped right now. This was like, let's go get a drink.
We're gonna drink.
Let's go get a drink.
Right.
We sit down, order 2 beers, and I got dumped before the beers even got there.
Oh,
it wasn't. No. There was no like warm up. It was just like, hey, we were thinking about maybe moving in together. She was like, hey, I don't think we should move in together. And I was like, okay. And she's like, oh boy, he didn't get that. Hey,
all right, honey, we'll just wait another year.
yeah. She's like, I'm gonna lay it on a little thicker here, aren't I, John? So she goes, no, like I mean, like I think we should break up. And I was like, okay. And as she's doing that, the beers arrive, right? No. And she goes, you don't have to stay. Like, it wasn't like shooing me. It was like really being more polite. Like, hey, if you don't want to keep sitting here. And I was like trying to be like cool, like, no, it's cool, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll have a beer, it's fine, we're friends, like whatever. I'm not hurt, I'm not gonna cry.
And then as I'm taking a sip of the beer, I'm processing in my mind going, this is completely fucking ridiculous. You can't just stay here after this.
You have to go. You have to leave.
So I'm trying to chug the beer, but it's a big one. So it's spilling out of the side of my mouth, but I can't bring myself to put it back down without it being empty. So it's just freezing cold beer spilling all down my shirt.
Make it stop. Make the story stop. Make it stop.
And then I put it down, and I don't acknowledge any of that has happened. And I just go, all right, well, I'll see you later. And I get up and I grab my backpack, soaked in beer, and just see you later.
And bear in mind, folks, this is what, maybe 18 hours after crying your eyes out at Miracle, right?
Yeah.
What a 24 hours you had. Cried in front of her naked, and then you spilled beer all over yourself.
And then guess what it ends with? Well, I'll see you at work tomorrow.
That's the best breakup story. Fuck off. That's unbelievable, man.
I remember like the conversation in my head like so clearly, in all the drinking games I've ever played and all like the competition was like, oh, you gotta get this beer down. Never had I been so like, dude, you gotta finish this beer down. Like, you can't put it down and then just like have to stare at each other while I just wait to take another sip. I have to just finish this beer and leave. And it was.
Could you imagine, like, so she went home and her girlfriends were like, hey, girl, how'd that go? She was probably like, well, I told him, and he just dumped a beer on himself. He just poured a beer down his chest and walked out.
I don't know if you remember that show, I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, the Netflix show I like so much.
Yeah.
The very opening skit is him, like, he's trying to open a door, but he opened it the wrong way after an interview. So he's trying, it's a pull, but it's a push, but he's trying to pull it, and he's just like committed to pulling it, and it's just like 40 seconds of him trying to pull this door open. That was me trying to finish that beer. It was like 40 seconds of just like beer spilling and me being like, I gotta get out of here with this.
Bro. That's so good. I feel like I was a bad friend during that. Were you upset by that?
No. It It was,
well, that was the vibe I got. I remember you being like, "Yeah, that's over," and I was like, "All right, you good?" You're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay," but I didn't really think further.
No, that was one of the more amicable breakups I've ever had in my life. Where it was just like, yeah, that probably wasn't working. So okay, it was just like we like didn't even talk. We were just basically just like drinking buddies. Who like,
well, I know how that goes, man. When you got a relationship that's based on your social life, it's a house of cards that's waiting to come down. Because guess what? That social life eventually stops, and then you're fucked. So, oh man, that is. If you've got a funnier, more relatable breakup story than John Feidelberg, lay it on us. I'd love to do we'll do the breakup episode. If you want to email us or tweet us or DM your breakup, it's got to be good though. I don't want to just hear well, I caught him cheating and I yelled at him. I need it's got to be some shit you judge a beer in front of him.
I forgot this detail. Her phone was out tracking an Uber. I think someone else I think she was trying to get me out of there before the Uber got there with someone else.
No.
So it's just because remember she would always have she was she always got you rides. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was, so I think she was getting someone else a ride there. And I was just like, oh, I definitely know what that is. I gotta get the hell out of here before someone comes in and this dude with tears in his eyes.
Hey, John, the ex-boyfriend, what's up? Oh my God. It's again, anybody who was ever why is Fights the way he is? These are the fucking answers why. Okay? These are the answers why. Next up.
KFC, Fights, Super Nintendo. Gotta leave this voicemail because I am shook as fuck. Brought a girl home first night after quarantine broke out. Yes, sin me like I should be, but I kind of knew her from some old friends, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And she came back to my place, went up to the bathroom right away, and was up there for not too long. Had the sink running the whole time and never really heard anything else. She comes back down, hangs out for a little bit, leaves, never hooks up. I go back up there. There is a pile of pube hair sitting on a toilet seat, she fucking shaved over at my place and was ready to hook up, but then didn't hook up. So, is that the weirdest thing on fucking earth? Please tell me it is. All right, bye.
I don't know what I think here. I was about to say, I'd rather you just we'll just hook up and you're just not shaved and whatever, then you leave your pubes all over. But then I also remembered I really would prefer you shave first. So I don't know where I stand. But it's certainly weird to do that, not clean it up, and then leave.
But the trick, I guess it doesn't really apply here because she didn't shower or anything like that. But it is dangerous. It's a dangerous game you play with shaving. And then because sometimes I'll just flush when I get out of the shower or whatever. And you just kind of forget it's there.
Yeah.
But if she just got up, if that was her last thing. Dude, chicks in the bathroom are so weird.
They're a catastrophe. They're worse than guys.
But they're like Navy SEALs because it's always so silent and quick. And but then sometimes you walk in, you're like, what the hell happened in here? If I'm gonna leave some kind of me in a room, I'm gonna be in there for 45 minutes, right? You'll be surprised. I'll walk in just unbeknownst to me, all right, just regular bathroom trip. No one's been in here for a long time, so should be. What the heck happened? I didn't even see you come in here, and you came in and gave birth to a baby cow. Where did this come from?
I love when they run the water. That cracks me up. I get it, but it's also just wow, we know what's going on. I mean, I had a friend, my roommate in Hoboken once, a good-looking guy, always pulled chicks, and was out at the bar. And I think what happened was he took home a girl who was just not usually his caliber. So I think she was totally taken aback. So they come home. It was a Sunday night, and I didn't go out. So I was sober. I was at home getting ready for work. And they come stumbling back in drunk. And he comes into my room, and I'm I'm like with my girlfriend at the time. He's like fucking hammered, like leaning over our bed. And he's like, yo, this fucking girl told me like, we're going to fuck, but she's just got to shave first. So she's in the shower. And I'm like, okay, dude. Wakes up the next morning. She goes, whatever. He goes, gets ready for work. And he comes out of the shower being like, I just shaved. And I was like, with the same razor? And he was like, with the same razor of what? I was like, from last night. And he didn't remember. He blacked it out. I was like, you had a stranger using your razor, shaving her pussy in the bathroom last night. And he was like, what? Oh, no, that girl on my face? Like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, well, that's the risk you run. Like, what would you prefer? Some chick to like ruin your bathroom, or like you hook up with a chick with just a monster bush? You're a bush guy.
Yeah, I am in theory. I've never really seen it in the wild, to be totally
honest. You fucking fraud, you phony.
Big well, I mean, it's like you can't just go up and ask people.
That's true. Definitely can't do that. Hey, how much hair you got in your pussy?
But I'm weird with my razor. I don't like people using my razor. Even my dad. That's not
weird. That's normal.
Is it like not my dad? Like he gave himself a haircut in quarantine, and he kept being like, "Can I get your beard trimmer?" And I was like, "Well, it's my beard trimmer." Mm-hmm. I ended up giving it to him, but at the same time, it's like I'm protective of my facial feature things.
No, I think that makes total sense. If people are putting any razors or trimmers in any parts of their body, it should probably just stay there.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to do. It's a crazy, and which actually, so I can shoehorn this point in here. I was watching Dead to Me the other day, and there was a line, and I've noticed this trend growing on social media where it's like kill all men who say they have a crazy ex-girlfriend or whatever. Like, they treat you how you told them to treat you or whatever kind of deal. Christ. And it's one thing with like popular tweets, and then when it gets into mainstream media like that, or there's a scene in the show where a girl paints on the garage door, "I know what you did," or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like the son is like, "She's crazy, mom," and she's like, the mom's like, "Don't you say that. She's not crazy. You treated her poorly and she acted the way she felt," or something along those lines. We're getting into dangerous territory with fucking comments like that.
Very liberal.
Mom, she vandalized our house.
Right. Like, what is she? If she fucking, comes at you with a baseball bat, are you just going to be like, well, she felt that way?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's, and I have had, moments where I'm like, you know what? I changed how I describe people. I'm like, you know what? I definitely played a part in some things. I've accepted that. But also, there are just sometimes where someone's just being crazy.
Yeah, I think that I know better than anybody. Like, yeah, you contributed. It was partly your fault, mostly your fault, whatever. But there is a certain level of behavior. It's like laws. It's like you're allowed to like get in an argument, but you're not allowed to hit people. You're not allowed to kill people. Right. You can react. You can yell. You can scream. You can cry. When you get into like physical, when you get into vandalism, when you get into stalking, when you get into work, like all that shit. It's like no matter what. This is just still like, I like you and you like me. Let's be in love. Okay, never mind. It's not going to work. And you just go on about your life. You don't fucking go nuclear over relationships. It was
like a vandalizing. I was like, okay, well, she's crazy. She painted, "I know what you did" in red paint on a white door. That's a crazy thing to do. That's not allowed. You can describe that as crazy.
No doubt, for sure. Anybody I haven't not seen that movement. What I did see recently was a tweet that went viral of a girl saying, "I just found out I'm pregnant, so I'm waiting to find out if it's a girl or an abortion because all men must die." So that's out there.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, I think she was dead ass serious, but it got me to laugh.
Okay. Yeah, but that's funny. Yeah, that's crazy good. Funny.
If you're being serious, it's a little too much. If you're joking, you are a fucking comic. That shit is good. Next up.
KFC fights BC. I had a question. Do you think in your entire life you've walked by an undercover secret surveillance van, like a flower van? Also, what kind of car do you think it was? And I'm saying this because a few weeks ago I was out and about and I saw garbage truck with a bunch of antennas on top of it. Looked very out of the ordinary. All right.
I think being in New York, I mean, anytime the president has been in town, you'll see Secret Service and motorcades and all that shit. I think him being specifically like a flower van that's like it's one thing if it's an unmarked car. It's another thing if it's like, we're the delivery man and we're actually being, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Like a stakeout.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if I walked by a stakeout.
Right.
Because I don't even know where stakeouts happen.
Right.
That's the kind of privilege I have. I don't even know what part of town you go to find a stakeout.
Also, don't you think most of the stakeouts now are like done by surveillance, like drone, like cameras on the street or something? Like, I feel like it used to be like, we got to get a guy out there to look at the house. And well, what if he leaves when we're not there? I don't know, just stay there all night, dude. So like, it feels like a pretty antiquated way of doing it, but
like in The Wire, which I've watched season 1 of, when they like got a call to like they're watching a single phone to call, like, okay, this is one of our guys, we can listen to this phone conversation. Right. That I would be surprised that happens anymore, but
or maybe that's what they want you to think, though. Maybe there are stakeouts left and right all over the place, and you don't really know it. I think, though, yeah, if you see a garbage truck with antennas, that's probably a pretty clear sign it's not just a fucking garbage truck.
You know what? I was almost going to just ask a question that I just already know the answer to. I was going to say, do you think you've ever stayed in a house where a porn was shot? But then I remembered Miami.
But prior to that, I would have said no. But the apartments that we stayed in Miami confirmed Reality Kings rental spot. Like, just, when people say like hotel rooms are like covered in cum, I always just kind of laughed about it, but like never really like thought about it. But like they are. I mean, they're just people are fucking and coming everywhere, right?
They're disgusting.
They're disgusting. Hopefully they've just come everywhere. Hopefully it's not a murder and not poop.
That's like in The Office when it's like
what's all these stains?
Yeah, he goes, well, it's either blood, urine, or semen. Michael Scott goes, it's urine. Hope it's urine.
So fucking funny. All right, last voicemail of the day. It's brought to you by Cross Rope. Your boy John Fights, the number one cross roper in the world. I think that might be the truth.
I'm about to go get it on right now, dude. I'm like a legit cross roper now. Like, I can do double unders. I can do crisscross. I'm like a legit jump roper.
Look at this guy. Like, you're gonna do some double dutch next?
I don't know if I could do that because I don't trust people. Yeah. But I'm a legitimately good jump roper now.
What weight are you using? The regular one? Using the heavy one?
No, that's a great part. It's all of them. So it'll be like, okay, for the first 5 minutes, you use this weight, then you switch up weight, then you back down weight, and you're up weight. You're doing push-ups and stuff in it because I don't like doing things for like 20 minutes straight. So It's a lot of changing up. Unbelievable. It's so quick. They're all like 17 to 22 minutes, give or take, something like that. So quick. I was actually reading Business Insider video the other day, like top 5 things that burn calories the most. Mm-hmm. And it was like 5, like combat fighting, 4, aggressive bike riding. And it got to 2, and I was like, that's a shame. I figured jump rope was going to be on here. It was 1.
Wow. You burn the most calories jumping rope?
Yeah. It's like you burn like 1,200 calories an hour or something like that.
I mean, jumping is a motherfucker. Like, jumping is, you're putting your body through some shit every time you jump it off the ground, let alone bow.
And these things, like with the KFC radio promo code, it's like 1 month gym membership, at least like a New York gym.
And once you have it, you have a couple ropes, a couple handles, and like you can swap them in, swap them out. It's not like you need a home gym. You don't need any space. You just got to get either high ceilings or get outside and stand in place.
I love this jump rope so much. It's great for right now with quarantine, but I will be continuing jumping rope probably for the rest of my life. It's so easy. It's like actually fun, and it's the number 1 calorie burner.
Which is, I mean, about as good of a endorsement as you can get. So get yourself some cross rope at crossrope.com/KFC. You get $40 off the cross rope set plus free shipping when you check out today at crossrope.com/KFC. New cardio, full body, home workout, matter of minutes. It's just crossrope.com/KFC.
KFC Fights, super producer. Would I be the asshole if I went to the shore for Memorial Day weekend instead of celebrating my girlfriend's graduation from grad school. So a little context, because of Corona, her graduation got pushed back a week, and it was supposed to be this coming weekend. Instead, it's the following. I have a summer rental with all my buddies, and I guess it still remains to be seen whether we'll even be allowed at the beach or not. But because for her graduation got pushed back, now it falls on the Tuesday after Memorial Day, so her and her family are going up to her lake house to celebrate all weekend. Despite me having put money down in this house, looking forward to this weekend since last summer. So am I the asshole if I go to the beach instead of going with my girlfriend's family to celebrate her grad school graduation? Thanks, guys. Believe it.
Well, my whole opinion just changed at the end there, because I would think, well, listen, first of all, you can always do whatever you want. If you're not head over heels in love and you've got your own plans and you're willing to just be in the doghouse and take the brunt of it, you can just do whatever you want. But I was going to say, if you love this girl, you don't want to fight with her, you don't want any drama, I think skipping her graduation on a year where the bars aren't going to be open, the parties won't be the same, like you're really not getting the full shore experience, that's going to be a tough sell. But then by the end of the voicemail, you don't get to make a whole weekend out of your graduation and turn it into a weekend trip.
Oh, I think you do.
You do?
I don't know. I never graduated, but I feel like if I graduated, I'd have grabbed a weekend.
Yeah. I mean, saying that like we're going to our lake house to celebrate my graduation, I think that's a bit much. I thought it was like she's graduating on Saturday, I would be at the beach. For him to be like, well, he said her graduation's on Tuesday. You could do your Memorial Day weekend and be there for graduation. I've got to be there Friday before your graduation now?
Well, look, here's the deal. Here, the boil this question down. Will you be the asshole if you don't go? Yes.
Yes, for sure. And that is the ultimate answer. It's just kind of a matter of how much you care, really, right? I would just go. It's just easier to go, right? Like it's easier. It's so much easier for your life to just go do that. This year, especially, I'm assuming you got a shore house, your mid-20s. Those were literally the greatest times of my life. But doing that, I'll say, one, Memorial Day weekend's always overrated. It's always the most crowded. It's always the biggest lines. It's always the biggest douchebags. And two, like I said, this year, is it going to be that good? Like, if there's ever a year to miss, it would be this one. So consider it an opportunity. And then what you do, you got to do it right. You got to be like, babe, I'm going to go for you. And you got to like show her all the pictures from social media that all the fun the guys are having. And then you get a couple in the bank,
What life boils down to, and I said boils down twice now, but it's just what's easier.
Yes.
Because what's easier is going to be what's more fun in the long run.
Right. That's
where
true.
It's like, if you think you'd have more fun on Memorial Day, you wouldn't, because you're going to have someone who's mad at you the whole time. And it's just going to be an added stress and something where it's just going to take away from that fun, where you can just go do the easier thing and have fun there.
And the easier thing is like a weekend at a lake. It's not like it's like, hey, meet me in like the fucking, meet me in the Bronx in Manhattan in the summer where it's not fun or anything. It's like you're still going to be on a boat. You're going to be on a lake. You're going to be partying, barbecuing, maybe not with the exact people you want, but you can still have fun with that. The path of least resistance.
You can have fun with people you didn't think you'd have fun with.
Right.
You can't have fun with people you think you'd have fun with when there's someone else who's trying to actively make sure you're not having fun.
Who you will allow, like that person has some sort of power over you because you're in a relationship, so it will ruin your time. Mm-hmm. I'm with that. The only thing I'll say is the path of least resistance. You can't do that your whole life, or you'll end up like me and a million other guys where like I would be like, I could go out with the guys right now, but I'm going to hear about it. So I'm not, it's not worth it. But right. I said no every fucking single time. I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go to dinner. I'm not going to go to that trip. And then it's like, well, and then as I could go on, I could write a dissertation on this, but in some relationships, girls will often, you give an inch, you take a mile, or they don't recognize like, all right, you didn't go out with the guys that night. You can go out next night. It's not usually like that. It's like now they expect that set of behavior from you. So sometimes I actually think it's better in the beginning to be like, I'm going to the shore.
Well, it's graduation's a big one.
Right.
This isn't like come to my family weekend. This is like come to my graduation.
Right. Although it is grad school, and grad school is kind of fake.
Yeah, grad school. I missed the grad school part. Grad school is bullshit.
Yeah, grad school graduation's like you're like mid-20s, maybe even late 20s. You're working like.
Yeah, a grad school graduation is like celebrating like a 32nd birthday.
Right.
Like,
yes, exactly that. So I'm kind of like, boy, you're really landing on thick for your master's in like education or some shit. Like, oh, good. Now you can be a 4th grade teacher. Like you probably could have been it without that fucking degree anyway, lady. So I would ultimately say, unless you just don't, you're not really into it and you think this is not going to last and you think that you're going to have, if this was supposed to be like the Memorial Day weekend and the summer of your life, but otherwise, I think you should just go to graduation.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our interviews today. One of my favorite interviews and favorite people on the planet right now, a guy who has been very gracious to us, very cool with us, and who is wildly talented. And I think going to be one day, I think Ben Schwartz is going to be like Oscar winner type of dude. Like I think his acting career is going to like really take off, and you're going to be like, Ben Schwartz is that fucking dude.
Ben called us friends, and that was like the nicest thing that's ever happened to me.
Ever.
Like, I can't believe we became friends to impress. I was like, Ben, you think of us as friends?
Anybody that talented, that cool, and that nice probably should not be friends with us. But he tweeted us. We tweeted out a link talking about Middleditch and Schwartz, and he tweeted back and said, "I'll give you tickets to the show. I have 1 free hour. Send me a Zoom link. Let's go right now." Do you think Ben thought we were going to do it?
Because he was surprised we did it.
I think he was surprised we did it as fast as we did it, because he was like, boy, you guys didn't fucking waste a minute. I was like, yeah, let's go. You give me an opportunity like that, I'm not wasting that one. So a very like impromptu, out of nowhere interview where we follow up with Ben Schwartz, talking about the success of Middleditch and Schwartz, talking about quarantine, we went down, we did a lot. We went down like memory lane. He was telling stories from like his a full fucking interview with Ben. It's brought to you by Screwball Whiskey. You're going to sit down with a couple of friends like me, John and Ben. You want to have a nice cocktail. Screwball Whiskey is the new and best flavored whiskey on the market. It takes a little bit of the bite off with a peanut butter flavoring. So it's got a little sweet and savory. It's easier. It goes down smoother. You can mix it. You can shoot it. You can drink it neat or on the rocks. If you got any grape juice, grape soda, grape mixer, it becomes like a peanut butter and jelly combo. And it is award-winning and the new hot shit out there in the streets for people to drink. Screwball Whiskey, if you're a screwball, you're a black sheep, you're an outcast, you're a little bit different, Screwball's for you. Grab a bottle for your next virtual happy hour, for your next family gathering, for you when you're just having a nightcap. You get a big scoop of vanilla bean ice cream on top of it, and you're doing a little peanut butter and vanilla. People put it in their coffee. They pour it over ice. It's like an adult dessert. So you want to be a screwball, get the original and most awarded peanut butter whiskey. It's now available near you at 70 proof. Screwball Whiskey is the perfect shot or perfect addition to your favorite cocktail. Pick it up at your local store or get it delivered today. Ready to hashtag get screwed? Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more info. Enjoy responsibly. Advertisement by Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Marcos, California. Whiskey with natural flavors and caramel color, 35% alcohol by volume.
Bro!
Benjamin, how we doing, babe?
John, you're a goddamn mess. Look at you.
What the hell is that? I'm in my brother's childhood. Yo, you want to see a mess? So since quarantine started, we've been like trying to Zoom in all different places, and it keeps fucking up. So I'm trying to like change up where I do it. Look at this goddamn room. Is my brother's childhood bedroom? The whole wall is Fenway.
Oh, I love this. By the way, I'm a Yankees fan. I think that's amazing. That's incredible.
Ben, your hair is it's unbelievable. It's lopsided.
It is 8:40 in the morning here, my man.
Shit.
My man, it is 8:40 in the morning, and I have work an hour, so I'm eating breakfast while doing this. I'm trying
to do it. I love it.
Anything with this, but I've learned that if I don't put anything in it, it's so long it can go in my mouth, and so I have to keep going.
You got a great head of hair, dude.
Hey, how are you guys doing through the pandemic and everything?
Wait, is your name John is a mess?
Very clever.
It's not inaccurate. I guess that's how it goes to the pandemic.
Yeah.
I like it because it's like there's so many things I wondered what I'd look like if I just let it happen, like this beard, for instance. And like there's no reason not to give it a try. Like, let's see what I look like with long hair. Let's see what I look like with fucking stringy facial hair. Let's experiment a little bit.
It looks good. I think you're finding. I think you'll shave the beard in the end, but I think you'll keep your hair long.
Man, I assure you, I will shave the beard. That's a promise to
you. Yo, so last time we talked, we were focusing on Sonic, but we mentioned Middleditch and Schwartz.
Yes, and I'm happy
Sonic,
we did.
By the way, massive hit as well.
I know you are on a hot streak, my friend.
So much stuff has happened since the last time we talked. It's kind of crazy.
And you got Space Force coming.
Well, first, let it be known how this conversation started. Literally, Kevin had called me out that he wanted to, or I guess Kevin, for both of you guys, Kevin had called me out saying like, hey, in one of our previous things, you said that A, you talk after I watch the specials, you talk to us about it, and B, you'd give us tickets. So, and then I said, let's do it. And within, 5 human being minutes, not exaggerating. I'm talking about 5 real, all I had was time to get my cereal and get to my computer. And we are
fast.
We are fit. And all I wrote is like a bit was like TikTok. And then a second later, Kevin sends me his Zoom link.
We don't lose those opportunities, man. If somebody like you says let's podcast, we fucking do it, all right?
Let's call it what it was. Let's address how this happened. It was social media ass kissing. That's really what got us here.
If you ever think that just blatant pandering to people doesn't work, you are wrong. Because this is
if you are nice to people, they will respond. Just be kind.
I don't even know. Mean to businesses. That's how Twitter works. Okay. That's how you get the results you want.
Mm-hmm. I really don't even know how to do this without coming across as just like ridiculous ass kissing. But the specials are so fucking funny. Like, for a guy like me who I never knew anything about improv, so I never knew how you do it and how you could do it for an hour. And if you're new to it, it's genuinely one of the most impressive things you'll ever see.
You're the best. There's a review that you had, John, and you watched them or no?
Oh yeah.
That would be so funny if John's like, haven't
even seen it.
I just heard great things though.
John was so excited before we left about seeing him. But I remember you wrote this article. What would you call it, an article?
Blog.
Okay, you wrote this
article's a little too fancy.
Okay, a blog post, and I didn't know that you were going to watch whatever, and it was so nice, and so I copy and pasted a piece of it and was going to write that and then say read the rest of the article, and it ended with like whatever you think could blow it out your ass or something. It was like our first review ever that says like blah, blah, blah. And then anytime I retweet something, it always looks so narcissistic. So if I take a quote from it, it looks even more egotistical. So
I got you.
I'm having such trouble, because I want everybody to see. The only way we get more is if people see them. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to retweet anybody that loves it to get other people to do it. But I literally, the first version of that tweet just had the first review ever that says this thing will whatever blow it at your ass or whatever.
I'm trying to I think that our audience probably wouldn't initially say that improv is for them. And I'm like,
your review is great.
Please don't let that stop you. At least give it a shot because it's something you've never seen before, probably.
Your blog post talking about, because I think that's the thing, the biggest thing we're fighting against is that people know what stand-up is. People know what sketch is. People have no idea. People know whose line is it anyway is. People have no idea when 2 people are coming on stage for an hour and just going to make up a show. They're a little bit like, what the hell is this? And so you explaining that to maybe an audience that has only seen stand-up and never seen anything is great. It's cute. That's what we're trying to get.
I watched it. I had no idea, even going into it and having watched the trailer. And obviously there are 3 specials. And in the trailer, you talk to all 3, I believe, or at least 2 of the stories you'll end up using. You talk to the photographer from NYU or from 30 Rock, and then you talk to the wedding people. I don't know if you talk to the law school student. But anyway, I thought you were going to be regularly doing new stories. I didn't know what long form. I barely knew what improv was. I had no idea what long form improv was. I was stunned to see you guys put
It's
together.
crazy. It's like
Such a
58
fun
minutes
show.
long. It's nuts. It's insane.
You guys are the best. I'm so happy we did this.
And did I hear correctly that you did 4 total?
Yes, the pair of
That was my
sneakers,
biggest
the pair
question.
of sneakers that were not shown were the 3 black cements.
Dude, the sneaker game is on point.
It's so funny because I know very little about fashion, but I used to work at Athlete's Foot, so I like sneakers a lot.
Uh-huh.
So did my babysitter, you know her?
Say it again?
My babysitter owned an Athlete's Foot. She owned a franchise.
Which one?
It's in Massachusetts, in Fall River. Her name was Manuela. She was actually cool. She was one of my very few good babysitters.
Oh my God. Do you remember all your babysitters?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, buddy, if you know John's babysitter history, they are memorable. Okay.
Really?
Oh, yeah. In not the best ways. Pretty sure John was molested by his babysitter.
Oh God, John, please.
She had me watch porn. It wasn't like she didn't
Is
touch
that true?
Yeah. It
All right,
was.
this is not for me to talk about. This is a whole.
We'll cut this.
This is a dark line.
Anyway, back to the show. Because my question was,
there are different versions of improv. So what you're saying, that long form improv, there are versions. There's a show called Ask Cat, which is great, and usually like the veterans, like the old school amazing improvisers. That's the show that me coming up when I was an intern at UCB, that's one that I wished one day I could perform in. Like Amy Poehler's in that, Matt Besser, Matt Walsh, Rachel Dratch, Tina Fey, they all do that show. And in that show, they get exactly what you said. They get a story, and then we do like 6 scenes, and then they ask for another story from a monologist, and then they do 6 scenes, and we take a break. So we do, and then we get 4 stories over the course of 45 minutes or an hour. And then, and that's kind of like what it is. So you're right, there is a version of that, but the version that we love is that telling one through line, one narrative. We started doing that, which other people have done, but that's the one that we really like the most, because I think for me writing movies quite a bit, and Thomas being really good at writing that, we could kind of hold up the story structure for most of the shows. Sometimes we call them bumpy landings, where we're trying to call back things from the past, and it's just like, hey, what? But sometimes it like him saying that there's an episode where he says he's a ghost just to fuck with me. And then, so what I do as an improviser is I put that here, and anything in improv is not a mistake. Whatever happens is supposed to happen in the show. And so I'm like, anywhere I can think to put this ghost that connects it, and hopefully wait long enough for the audience forgot that moment. And so when we say it, the audience is like, what I mean?
Those moments when the ghost comes out, when you guys remember that Nigel was there for like a half hour.
That was Thomas. That was amazing. Yeah. I was
sitting there like, what about Nigel?
See, that's the other thing. The other thing is that the story is being made up at the same time. We're doing it at the same time as the audience is understanding it. Right. So we're all on the same page. There's not anything that is, we're all on the same page. So exactly that happened. But we were going through the things before that and said all the characters, and we didn't remember. And the best part about that, it was amazing that Thomas remembered it, but it was even more amazing that was the guy that explained how to get out of the whole situation. Like the person you forgot. That was an incredible move by Thomas. It's one thing to remind everybody that was here, that's a laugh, but it's a fun story plot thing that you don't know how to get out of this. Me, you should have talked to me. I was here the whole time. Like I love that.
I got a text from another guy at Barstool. He said he watched it after I wrote about it. And he said the main thing that he didn't think that you guys would like break the fourth wall and like acknowledge how silly it was. He thought it was kind of like highbrow, comedy, the art, the craft. And that it wasn't just like, this is fucking ridiculous, right, guys? So once he knew it was like that, he was totally on board.
One of my favorite parts is when you guys are remembering Marnie's name. And you and you're like, I think it's your sister's actual name is Marnie.
Yes, and she was in the audience. Like in real life, my sister was in the audience. And so I don't know if Thomas remembered that, or like we were in the scene. So when I said, oh, that's my sister's name. And then he was about to say, what? And I was like, it would just take explaining that would just veer us off way too much. We don't have enough time. This is being filmed. So it's like, keeping us track. There are other things also where Thomas, like if you look at the reaction of, I don't know if you saw all 3, but the third or the second one, there's an alien. I play an alien, and it's calling back that this woman said this city is known for having an alien in it. But Thomas did not remember that part of the interview.
Yes.
So he told me when we were editing, not even after the show. I mean, we were editing because we have 9 cameras on each scene. So we had to figure out which cameras to put and like what plays the scene the best. And he goes like, yeah, man, when you did that move, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about? She said alien. She goes, he goes, oh my God, really? He goes, I thought you were just doing it to fuck with me. I go, no, I was calling back what she was saying.
You could see it because of the way he pretended to open the door and he closed it and was like, I really don't think we want to introduce this to the storyline.
That was all his reaction of being like, what the fuck are you doing is 100% real. Which we do that to each other in the shows all the time. But it was so funny to me that, I mean, like, it had to be a month afterwards. We're editing it. And he's like, yeah. I was like, why the hell did you do that? And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, oh my God, that's amazing. It was great.
How often during the interview are you either like, oh boy, I mean, obviously it's every time, but how often are you like, hell yes, this is going to be a monster versus, oh, this is going to be a tough one? Because like the first interview, I knew there were a couple of times when it was like, holy shit, this is going to be amazing. But particularly when the 7th of 7 bachelor member of the groom's party starts talking again, and you're like, yeah, it's about time you take over again. I was like, oh, this is gonna be.
I agree.
And when you hit him with just barely.
Yeah. And what you don't see is when you guys come to the show. So we're supposed. You're right. I just watched the Twitter clip that you guys put up, which seems like you guys do it. Your turnaround is so quick. Whoever the non-video participant is on this thread is very good at their job.
He's the best in the game.
Is that what it is? Okay. What you don't see is, and in our shows that we do for a really long time, is we talk to the audience for a while at the beginning just to get them loose, just to make sure they feel comfortable with us on stage and what we explain what's going on. We also explain even in more detail what we're about to do. But when I was editing with Thomas, we were like, if we keep all of that, which is like 10 minutes, if we keep 10, 11 minutes of us just talking to the audience, people will click off before they see the improv and they'll never see what the show really is. Sure. So we just took away all the part of us fucking with the audience, making jokes at ourselves, making fun of ourselves, and explaining improv in depth every time. And then just kept the part of get to the person that when we ask, would it just get to that part and make it short and get the hell out of there because of that. So what you miss is a lot of us playing with the audience, some, getting happy and stuff like that and doing all that stuff. But
you just ask one. Are you ever like, no, that's stupid, we're not doing that?
No. So sometimes we will, it's always in improv. It's usually the first thing you hear is what you should do. That's just what it is. The idea is like, you shouldn't say no to things. Everything is yes and. Right. But we've done so many shows that if we get like, if we do a wedding one night, someone else has a wedding, our wedding shows will never be the same because it's all about the people. It's the characters that are in it. But what I will do is if that one wasn't going well, I would ask about more characters in their life. Or let's say they're talking about like, I have a job tomorrow that I'm really in my first new job and they don't really know anything about the job. Then you're like, all right, we're already talking to this person. What else? Who are your friends? Like you find things. And then there are people. So that's, you kind of explore enough where you find something that you're like, all right, but you're right. There's sometimes where it's like, sometimes we'll get a really boring thing. Like it's like, I have a job, I put vitamins into a bottle. And you're like, okay, this may be crap. Or taxes. We had one that was taxes. Someone works for the IRS and deals with taxes. But you learn about the people that are around them, and then it doesn't even matter what they do. It could be whatever. And then sometimes you're right, it just sucks. And we're like, all right, well, then we have to invent. And then you could feel us really working hard on stage.
Well, that was my question. Like, at the end of those, are you gassed?
Oh yeah. And by the way, so sometimes now that we're a little bit more popular, sometimes we sell out and have to do 2 shows in a night. So we'll do, and the shows for real are an hour and 20 minutes. We had to cut it down because Netflix said comedy plays better on our site if it's under an hour, especially if it's something new. Like stand-up. If Chappelle can do it every once because people know exactly what to expect with Chappelle. Right. But for us to like keep it under an hour, which I thought was really smart too, because then people want to watch the next one. Also, okay, so wait, you asked a great question. What was the question you asked?
Just like if you're gassed when you're done doing it, especially.
So in between shows, and also we get to like, when we're doing Largo, which is our like home court here in LA, we get there 5 minutes before showtime. We put on our little mics and we go out. We talk for 2 seconds. Like because there's no tech or warm up. We've done that, But when we go to theaters, we have to get there an hour and a half beforehand. We have to tech because we have to make sure our mics work with them and explain to them what the show is. Because anytime we go to a place, in our rider it says 2 chairs, and that's all it says. And they'll put 2 heavy like throne chairs with a table in between because they think we're a podcast, and they put a glass of water for us and. We're like, oh no, we got to have like light chairs. So almost all the shows that we do on tour, we end up having to take one of the chairs from the audience, just like any crappy chair we could find, and put it on stage because all these heavy ones we can't like move around and do our scenes with.
You run a lot.
And
I run out of the gate too.
Yeah.
Because I always feel that brought energy, and Letterman used to do that when I was a page for Letterman. I used to watch Letterman run across the stage before he came out. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But also for me, it's like that the audience is going so like, they're so excited when we come out now, which is crazy. That like if I run out, I feel like I'm with that excitement with them, and then I feel like the show just gets started immediately. You know what I mean?
It's hard enough to sit there and just like use your brain for an hour. I think people don't ever really think about that. Like we talk about it with podcasts, which again is an extremely easy job.
No, but it's a form of improv. It's definitely a form of improv. You guys are making shit outside of bullet points that you're going to talk about. You're making shit up the whole time.
Well, at least we're sitting. To do it running and carrying chairs and shit. Like
and the way you guys fuck with each other, like you make him get up and down. Like you're screwing each other over half the time. It's so good.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So if we do back-to-back shows, so our show is an hour and 20 minutes, usually. And we'll do a show. And then if we sell out when we have time to do another one, we don't have to get home early the next day. We'll do another one. And so we'll have like an hour and a half in between. And we are so tired. And so like we'll talk to each other a little bit. We'll just be on our phones.
Right.
We'll just be like, you know what I mean? It'll be like this. And then after the second show, I'm out. Like I'm drenched with sweat. I'm like so tired. And oftentimes you guys know when you do shows or people want to say hello to you backstage, and I'll just be like, hey.
Yeah.
But the back-to-backs are the ones that get me. When we do one show, it's pretty good because we've been doing it for so long, but to do what would be 2.5 hours of improv straight it's a lot. And those NYU shows were because we didn't have the money. We had not a lot of money for these. So we did 2 shows a night for 2 nights. So within 26 hours, we did 5 hours of improv.
That's crazy. And you're confident every time you go out there that you would have like a Netflix airable type show?
This is not the most scared. It was the most pressure. It was by far the most pressure we've ever had because we've done hundreds of shows together, ranging from really great to pretty good. But like never any bombs anymore because we've been doing it for 20 years. But like still like there's a range of like, we'll come off stage sometimes and be like, we didn't like that show. We could have done better, but we'll get hard on ourselves. So now it's like, it doesn't matter how many good shows you've ever had. You only have 4 shots. Like, so we filmed 4 and we aired 3 and Netflix is like, this is it. Whatever happens, happens. You just got to hope that 3 out of those 4 are airable. And you got to hope that the person like the first show, which is the one we cut for a bunch of reasons. One is we were figuring out how to do the cameras. The other one is we didn't quite learn how to get the boom mic to the audience member in time. So that first one doesn't have great audio of the person that we were interviewing. And also the first guy's interview, although maybe we will air it one day, was about how he's like, what are you dreading or looking forward to? He's like, my girlfriend is leaving her boyfriend right now, literally right now, to come live with me. And her boyfriend has cancer. And we're like, what? And like, so it's like an uncomfortable thing. But the idea of improv is, all right, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And we've had stuff about death. We've had stuff about people being pregnant, being very scared about being mother. We've had like real stuff. And they seem to always like work out because we won't ever dive into our show won't be about we try our best not to be fucked up. You know what I mean? So I remember that. So that when that was happening, but our show isn't about that. But I was like, man, if this is the first show that people see and it's right off the bat, this guy is like, you're like, this is not the best dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that show ended up really fun too. And Tom, there's a piece of Thomas that's like, we should edit that one together too. But
I mean, now that like, I think it's a success. What's the response been like in general? Do you
critically, the response has been great. Yeah. Like better than, I got emotional. The first day that we got reviews and people talking about it, it was like emotional for me because imagine doing something for 20 years that nobody really sees outside of when you go on. First of all, I've been doing it for free for 18 years. Then we just started touring. We just started doing this thing at Largo. And like, so each time I did it at UCB, 100 people would see it. Even if I did 100 sold out shows, it's like, now we're touring. Now we have thousands of people seeing it, but it's the same thing. Once we leave that theater, nobody in the streets know who the hell, what we just did.
Right.
So it's like, it was such a big deal for now millions of people could see it. But now so critically it's great, but we don't get more specials unless a lot of people watch it. So now we wait to see if we get the green light.
Keep those retweets going, man. Just keep fucking shamelessly promoting.
It feels so dirty. Space Force is coming out on Netflix too, and I think that'll help. Space Force and Middleditch and Schwartz being on the same platform, I think hopefully will help somehow.
Get that rhythm going.
But that's our baby. Middleditch and Schwartz is our baby. It's like
it was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, right?
I know
when it came
crazy.
out.
The response has been crazy, and also it's slowly gaining steam, is what we heard. Like every day, more people watch it. Like more people than the last day have watched it.
Because there's still that barrier, like improv. Like, I mean, you guys are doing like a service to that craft or whatever, because it's like you're already kind of signing up for something that's a little bit, unique. So it's gonna, like, you're kind of pioneers in that sense.
Well, you explained it really well, and I will take the being shit on that. Oftentimes, in people who watch stand up, when you talk about improv, it's like the butt of the joke, or like you'll be like, "Oh God, we got to go to an improv show." You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think you explained that correctly, because outside of the people who do it, that's the sense of what improv is a little bit, because they've only seen like class shows. And there's been very few specials. I did one for Showtime. Ask Cat did one or two. TJ and Dave, who are legendary Chicago improvisers, have a documentary. But there's so few, like, as opposed to stand-up, you can see 1 billion stand-up specials. You can also go to huge theaters and see stand-up, when for long-form improv, there's very few people who go to big theaters to do it. So it's like, there's nowhere to point. So the only reference that people have is class shows, or people who've kind of been doing it, you know what I mean? And not like watching Kevin Hart do stand-up or watch Chappelle do stand-up, you know what I mean?
Do you think that, do you, like, improvers, do you think of yourselves as like a higher actor? Like I never, again, I'm kind of on that game, like that train where it was like, oh yeah, that's kind of like the little shop down the street does that improv thing. But like when you're on set, and are you like, I can do this without a script? It doesn't fucking matter to me.
That's amazing. No, it's by no means. If anything, you like want to prove to people that you can memorize their words and say that. You're like, no, I can.
You don't get on set and just rip the script up. Be like, I'll handle this.
I'll tell you how I'm going to do this.
There is a big joy. There is like a fun joy when they're like for Parks and Rec, they'd be like, all right, this is called a fun run. I probably told you guys last time, but so like, and then you go off, or like for House of Lies, the four of us together would kind of play with our words a little bit before we went out. Or sometimes they'll like, I'll be able to play and people come with, and then like, especially if you're improvising with like a really good actor who maybe hasn't improvised a ton, you learn that a big part of improvising is just listening and reacting truthfully, which if you're a good actor, you can hang, because that person knows their character, they know what the scene is about, and you can play together. I think sometimes the thing that you really got to learn is when you're starting with nothing, like how to start and invent everything. But the actors that we play with, like Cheadle was incredible. Even people like Blake Griffin did the Snow Pants show with us a bunch of time. He crushed. J.J. Abrams was amazing.
Griffin's a son of a bitch. He can do everything. It's unfair if he wasn't 7 feet tall. I think he would be a professional. I'm not even doing a bit. If he wasn't 6'10", he would be a professional comedian or writer. But you see like, and the people who saw it, like actors that would come to our show or see this, they would be so inspired by it and want to do it, because it seems like a great form. It's just scene work. And if you like acting, it's basically scene work, just you're making it all up.
It's fucking incredible, man.
I can't believe how much John's beard has grown throughout this whole thing.
I don't think I didn't see the John Loves Babysitters name.
Why did you even change that, dude?
It was so long ago.
I noticed while you were talking earlier. I was like, when I didn't even see his hands move. And eating cereal, like it's amazing.
I know. I felt rude that I was eating while talking to you guys. I didn't want to be disrespectful.
No, it's actually, that's been something that's happened in quarantine. Is like we just start doing interviews while we eat. It's like,
it's like there are no fucking rules anymore.
Now, are you able to get, or maybe it's just because I like you guys and we've become friends via this press stuff, but it's like, are you able to get like people you never could get before? Because now there's like, you're just home right now. You can get like fucking, I don't know why I'm saying John Starks, but like, just because I was watching last time. But like, you can get like athletes that you never could get before, because literally they're home. They can't run now.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting any like higher level guests, but it's been easier to like, if you DM someone and it's like, hey, can you talk about this? Because I know you have nothing else to do. So you better have a good excuse. So there's definitely been a few interviews like that, but I feel like
that's also a dangerous area to play in though. Cause also like, it's like texting a girl who you know has her phone and it's like, hey, are you free? And they're like, no.
Yeah, if they say no, you're fucked.
That is true.
I know you're just ignoring, and then that's fine. You're allowed to do it. It just hurts the ego.
There is right now. I've been doing a lot of press, which feels why just because the world is melting. But and so a bunch of my days are packed, and then I'm writing. So I'll go from one thing to the other, and then someone will be like, "Can you do that?" Like they'll ask somebody if I can do something, and I sincerely can't. And then I have to like tell them no, but tell them like It's not a bit. Tell them like Monday and Tuesday we're doing press from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't have a minute.
Right.
So yeah.
I know it's early. I got one more thing for you because I saw your Instagram post.
We have till 9:45.
Okay.
Please don't take it though. Please don't take it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go to 9:44 then.
At 10 a.m. I talked to second graders. I talked to a second grade class in Philadelphia.
Oh boy.
Really?
Yeah, if you guys want to get involved, it'd be real uncomfortable for your podcast.
I tried to get involved in like a Big Brother program once, and they just said no thanks.
I get it.
I got it too.
Are you? I saw your Jordan Last Dance jokes, which are just fucking great because it sounds like MJ. I mean, we're at the point where. Did you see the clip of? It was on JJ Redick's podcast. They said that.
Oh, I haven't heard JJ's podcast. Is it amazing? Because he's a smart dude. I met him once or twice, and he was very kind, and he just loves basketball.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to have like a active player who like was just out there talking that shit. I don't know if it's him, but someone on the show saying that Jordan went up to Hannah Storm and another female reporter and told them they were pregnant before they had told anybody. Like MJ has this pregnancy censor thing.
And was he correct?
Yes. At least so says the story. Because I don't know what to believe. I mean, all these things, it's like William Wallace stories, you know? He said that they leaned in and was just like, so when do you do? And the girl was like, what the fuck? So I feel like, I mean, the legend of MJ, I didn't think could grow anymore. And it's grown like exponentially.
There's you heard that Shaq story about Stevie Wonder when he was in the elevator with Stevie? Like stuff like that. I love that. Also, Shaq, funny as hell, nice guy, really kind dude. Or at least to me, he was at least.
The MJ thing that's something only Michael Jordan can do. Like you can't just go up to a woman and say, "When are you due?"
No way.
If that's anyone but Michael Jordan, that story is not told with a smile on your face.
What were your teams growing up? Is there any part of the docu series that you've connected with the most that you're like, oh, like for me, watching the Knicks, watching them lose again was so hard. Like I remember I cried during the Rockets finals. And then I also, by the way, I didn't have money to get him, but I didn't have like Jordans ever because fuck that. I was a huge Knicks fan. He beat us every year. He was like our Thanos. We hated him. And then after you grow up and you realize that, your allegiance as a child may be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Going to Oakley's car wash just to give him more money just in case. Then I got my first pair of Jordans. It was like an incredible feeling, and now I'm addicted to all of them and stuff like that. But which one of those episodes do you connect with the most?
Nick's portion is terrible. It's awful. It's just watching like Charles Smith miss those fucking like 4 layups.
Oh my god!
Hacked and like. Oh, it's brutal. And then when they were finally gone, John Starks goes like 0 for 17.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough. It was not great. But it's so weird that he transcends that. It's like, I should be more mad, but at some point, you just kind of like give in to the greatness,
The doc almost makes you root for him to beat the Knicks.
Right.
As a Knicks fan, you're like,
let
him have this. It's so good. He's got to do this again.
Right.
I'm doing that right now with Brady, where I'm like, oh boy, the Pats and the Buccaneers play in the Super Bowl. I don't know. Like it's
really.
It's good. I mean, I love Brady. Like I wasn't even really a football fan before Brady. I was 11, I think. So like, I wasn't really anything before Brady. But we talked about that extensively.
Who was the Patriots quarterback before Brady?
Drew Bledsoe, who was like he's the number 1 pick. He was
on McDonald's Cubs. Are you kidding me?
He was legit. So like I watched Bledsoe. I like Bledsoe, but I didn't love the Patriots until Brady. So we've talked about it extensively. Like, am I gonna root for him to beat my team? We're gonna find out. I don't know.
It's a weird dynamic. All right, we're gonna let you go because it's early in the morning. We're already giving us enough time. But please keep in touch. We love the show. We'd love to go to the show.
And I'll get you those tickets. I just don't know. The scary thing is I don't know when. We moved a bunch of dates, but we're not getting on stage until it's like 100% safe. So it could be. I have no idea. I don't know if you guys have estimates, but it could be next year. I don't know what it is.
I would guess 2021.
Yeah, it's just not even worth throwing out estimates. It's just like it'll happen when it happens. Until it's safe, everybody, be safe.
Kevin, where are you? What city are you in? You're in New York.
I'm in New York.
What part of New York?
I'm in Mount Vernon in the Westchester.
Oh, come on! I know it well. We played you in basketball, and then
Triggerdale, right?
Where are you? At that time I was in Edgemont.
Okay. I played in Pelham, and Edgemont always beat the fucking shit out of us.
By the way, oh my goodness, we had the best. We went to the county center and we played Mount Vernon. You guys had a basketball player. You're younger than me, I think. I'm 38. How old are you? Like 32? 35. But you guys had a basketball player that was dominant. I mean, like insanely dominant, right?
In Pelham?
No, in Mount Vernon. Were you not there then?
Yeah. Ben Gordon was in Mount Vernon. He was fucking awesome.
Oh, there was some. We beat Mount Vernon when we shouldn't have beaten Mount Vernon, I think it was.
Dude, beating Mount Vernon is no joke.
No, maybe we didn't. Maybe this is a different story. And Mount Vernon's the one that killed us. Oh, maybe Mount Vernon's the team that we played in rec league where we got dunked on more than we ever been dunked on.
Yes, we played Mount Vernon in a Nourishell summer league. I kid you not.
Yes, we were in that league.
Yes, and we should not have been in it.
What was it? BET? Which league was it?
I was at Lincoln Park. I know that.
Oh, I think that was the one where the guy from Mount Vernon literally dunked on us and had these one-handed dunks where when he would dunk, he pulled the rim a little bit each time.
Dude, I got a ball thrown off my face N1 style of that league. I mean, we were getting massacred. We lost.
My story was very incorrect.
Wait, Kevin, you had a ball thrown off your face once in an actual basketball
game? And I just fucking hacked the dude. I looked this way for a pick. I turned back and he fucking threw it at me and I just hacked him across his arms. Do you remember
before I leave, do you remember the first time? Well, I realized that I was never going to dunk a ball. The closest I got, I dunked a softball once. But when I realized I never could dunk a ball, and then I realized that if I alley-ooped it to someone who could dunk, it felt like I was dunking. That's one of the best feelings as a kid ever. When you're like, this is as close as I'm going to get. And like you feel it, if you put it in the perfect place.
It's like that was me. Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the universe. All right, stay safe, guys. Thanks for having, and thank you for saying those kind words, both of you guys, about the special. It means a lot. I think we only get to do more if a ton of people watch it. So even that little thing will help a ton.
We're going to do our best.
Everyone watch Space Force. Everyone watch this. everyone watch Middleditch and Schwartz. Everyone, what's the movie with Billy Crystal? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Standing Up, Falling Down. Yeah, that was a fun one too.
You got everything.
Have you guys seen Space Force or no?
No.
We actually just talked to Jimmy O Yang yesterday, though.
He's the best, and he loves sports too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a good dude, man. I like Jimmy a lot. And he has a stand-up special, too. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the trailer, and it's hilarious.
That's what he was promoting. It's very, very good. It's called Good Deal on Amazon Prime. So check out that after Middleditch and Schwartz.
All right. Have a good one to you guys. Happy to catch up.
Right.
John, we cannot fuck this up with Ben Schwartz. We have to become permanently friends with him. We have to go to his shows. We have to support his career. And we got to get in on, like, I want to be like part of Ben Schwartz's like posse.
Yeah.
Part of his crew. Like when it's like Jordan and everybody shows up, it's like Ben Schwartz and us.
I think it's the reason I made sure to bring it up in that video that caught Ben's eye.
You said, yeah.
It was, and I want to, we'll be there. We'll be there every goddamn fucking night, Ben.
Every fucking time. They're going to be like, God, the Barstool guys are back. You're goddamn right we are, Ben. Shit. I mean, really.
Nate texted me after that.
Sonic made like hundreds of millions. Space Force is going to be huge. Middleditch and Schwartz is being like critically reviewed as like the most impressive comedy thing ever. And that was in a month for that dude.
Yeah. Nate texted me right afterwards. He's like, wait, did you really just do that interview with Schwartz? We're like, yeah. He's like, I honestly think he's like the next Robin Williams kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I agree. And I would like to be along for the ride.
Right. For sure. So, Ben, don't forget about us. And also, let's now talk to our boy, Cory G. We had him back. We got an update on John's health, my health. We learned a little bit more about Cory and his workout program, his torn rotator cuff, his days with Arnold's, his, part of the reason why we did the top 5 Jordans. Cory hopped on Periscope the other day and was like, when I was a kid, I wanted the D Brown Reebok pumps. I watched him win the dunk contest. I wanted it. We were living in a trailer. My parents and grandparents were minors. We didn't have the money. He found them later at a did he tell us on the podcast or only on the Periscope? I don't know.
I don't think so.
So he found them later at a yard sale from his buddy. So he just bought his buddy's like secondhand shoes because he was like, I just fucking want that pair. Fast forward, I don't know, probably 30 years later, and he's going to the Reebok headquarters to ink a deal as like an endorsed athlete wearing that same pair of shoes. And he was like, Reebok didn't send me anything. I never asked for any freebies. I bought it because I believe in it. I still have them. And now they pay me like $40,000 a month to like do this, that, and the other thing. It's like that to me, man, is like you can like sneakers and really appreciate it. But if you appreciate being entrepreneurial or just having a story come full circle, it's fucking awesome. Same thing he was saying. Like I used to idolize Arnold Schwarzenegger, and now I do Christmases with him. It's like the dude has just absolutely dominated his field and his industry. So let's talk to him. Cory Gregory. It's brought to you by Simply Safe. Right now, safety is paramount. It means everything. Keeping your house secure, your loved ones and your belongings secure when you're constantly home, when everybody's vulnerable right now. Simply Safe. It is the only certainty in an uncertain world right now. Simply Safe Home Security. It's easy. It's comprehensive protection for your home. No technician or salesperson that needs to do it in your house. No outrageous monthly fees. No gotcha contracts lasting for 2 years. You can order it online. You can set it up yourself. And your home will be protected 24/7 with emergency dispatch for break-ins, for fire, for flood, more. It's just 50 cents a day, which is basically free. So U.S. News and World Report named it the best overall home security of 2020. So right now, go to Simply Safe. That's simply with an I, safe.com/KFC radio, and you'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. You can try out the security for 2 months. If you don't like it or you have a problem, you get your money back. That's SIMPLI safe.com/KFC radio. From Simply Safe and all of us here at KFC Radio, wishing you safety and good health. Cory G, let's talk to him.
What's up, bud?
Fights, what's good?
How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. You looking like Amish, bro.
Dude, it's
What's up, Kevin? I used to live by a dude named Ezekiel.
Yo, with those backyard workouts you're posting, it makes sense. You got a lot of land back there.
I live on 5. Yeah, so it's, it ain't that New York price out in Ohio, bro.
You cut that yourself?
Hell no. Somebody just asked me this yesterday, actually. My mom came to my house for the first time. She goes, I know you hated cutting grass as a kid. You about to cut that? I said, Ma, I'd lose money if I cut this. Like, it's a numbers game for me. I'll pay somebody to cut that.
That's what my parents are moving, and they're getting a big yard. My dad was like, absolutely not. My cut.
Yeah, dude, there's no way I would waste 3 hours twice a week. No way.
I did landscaping for one summer in Martha's Vineyard, where it's like
that's dope.
Big, nice houses. And it was fucking hell. It's nice, like, to get to see the view, but just like edging the grass all along that shit, brutal.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't want to be a landscaper for no way. I delivered mulch with my kid. We did a baseball like thing where they raise money for their uniforms. We delivered like 80-pound bags of mulch for like 8 hours one day. Man, I forgot. It'd been a while since I've been a coal miner, bro. Like, I've been needing that easy life. I delivered mulch, and me and my son, he was beat. I said, dude, this is how, like, you ain't trying to do this the rest of your life, bro.
Dude, moving mulch for Little League? What happened to shaking cans outside a convenience store?
Bro, I'm telling you. It was cool. Great experience. And they were frozen. It was snowing. I'm like, what am I doing now?
Man. That's the whole point of doing what you do for a living is to not do that shit.
But you know what was cool though? That was the first time, other than us doing little stuff around the house, that I could be like, yo, this is what it really feels like. Now I did work like this, but I was underground at the same time. Like, it was a good experience for him though. And yeah, man, it was legit. Kevin, what are you doing?
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 15. He's a freshman.
How once you make it big and make some cash and run some businesses and whatnot, how are you raising your kids so they're not spoiled?
Yeah, so that's real difficult, because it's so different than the way I grew up, right? Single parent household. Like, I grew up in a trailer, like we never had any money. So you're always aspiring to want more. And when you have more, which is weird because I wanted more for myself and my family, but then it's like,
but you have the perspective.
Correct. And they don't.
But you also can't blame them for not having the perspective because they never lived it. So
exactly. So the way that I try to do is my best. I'm leading by example, still with a work ethic of what it took to get here. They know dad's up at 3 a.m. They know I'm out here grinding in a different way than I don't even like to use that word, but out here working hard in a different way than, my family did. But I also got to experience that too. So I have those stories, but I think it's by action. And I think the biggest thing I want them to know is not only that they will now have better resources to be able to really go do what they love to do. because they see me do it all the time, but they see how hard it is. But when my kid goes like, oh no, I want to wear my other Jordan ones. I'm like,
right, you motherfucker.
I'm like, I want your life when I'm your age, motherfucker. Like, come on.
Thin between wanting the best for them, but also not spoiling. But
it's real tough, man. And I think, especially with the opportunity of the internet and all these different things going on, it's just, we live in a different time. I had a job on the farm. I'm rubbing skull when I'm fucking 12 or 13, and then worked in a sawmill, and then worked as a miner, and had all of this where, dad works on the internet. I mean, and has a gym, and it's been successful. And I drop him off, to school in nice cars. Like he don't understand, but I try to, I get twisted up, man. Motherfuckers, they don't respect, like we're running hills and I'm yelling. I don't know if I'm proud of it, but I really, like, I'm not soft on my kids. Like I'm after them if they need it.
Really?
I'm the neighbor where they're like, that dude crazy. And I'm like, yo, this is dad time. Like, Ma, go back in the house. Like, so it's tough though.
I'm ready to the time when you're doing the moving mulch where you're just like, look, I'm guessing the answer to this is no. But me, I'd be like, I'll just give you the fucking money. Like, I don't know how much money we need to raise, but like, I don't want to move any more mulch.
Well,
here's $200, go buy jerseys.
I think that I did that too, and I still had to move the mulch. But I'll tell you what I did do though. You'll like this. Is I would pick the pace up though, because I got the work in me. I did this stuff before. It's just been a while, right? My lower back's strong from all the lifting, so I'm the guy pulling the 80-pound bags of mulch off the pallet. So I'm trying to break motherfuckers during the process, bro. I'm the guy like giving it to my kid as fast as I can. Like, yeah, motherfucker, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, so I'm that dad that's a dickhead that's in shape, that's fucking going, and I kept it up all day, dude. I didn't want to let up on the gas.
Yo, you are, in my mind, you were officially the MJ of bodybuilding after that last video. That stogie in your mouth, 225, no problem with a torn rotator cuff. I mean, I've been watching The Last Dance. That shot of Jordan when he was sitting in his locker, puffing a stogie, just gently swinging the bat, talking about like how he's unfazed by that loss. That was, I think, the best footage of the whole series, whole documentary. And I saw you puffing away doing that. I was like, this motherfucker, Cory.
Well, because I knew I'd send it to Patrick Schwarzenegger and he'd send it to his dad. Because, his dad had such a huge impact on me working with him and being able to learn from him. And that's how I really got on to cigars. When I would go to Arnold's house for Christmas, he had his like hand roller there, and same guy that makes cigars for Stallone. And they'd all be all these big ballers. Like I didn't know any of it's like James Cameron there puffing cigars. I'm like, man, fuck, I need to start puffing me some cigars. And so it was one of those things where I really just, I drink on the weekends, which I think you guys are aware of now. I try to live a balance as crazy as I am, but I really do enjoy cigars. It's, it's something that it's like some boss shit, bro. And you see like people that operate like Arnold, and you're just like, he's on the campus at Facebook. It says no smoking. He's fucking smoking. He's like he just don't give a fuck, bro. And I love that.
Right. Dude, right. You just so casually said you did Christmases at Arnold Schwarzenegger's house.
I was like, I didn't know it was like that, Cory. Jesus Christ.
It's kind of like that, which is awesome. Yeah, I mean, so this year was amazing, right? So I went out a day early. Usually the thing is, most people live in town that go to his house for Christmas. I'm one of the only people that really travel in, me and a couple other people from Ohio. And so like I go in a day early, and I'm like, yo, can I catch a workout with you guys? I'm in a day early. Normally I got family stuff going on. I can't get there. So here I am, and this never gets old. I've done this multiple times. When you're going set for set with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like you're on like, he's older now, he's in his 70s. So we're not lifting crazy heavy, but we're doing a machine or something. And he's like waiting for his set. And then like, you're waiting for your, like, dude, it's like,
it's like coming.
And so, yeah, exactly. And so I'm doing this super set in the mirror, and I'm looking all veined out and crazy. And my dude I'm lifting with, he goes, well, I do this set like really intense, like Arnold's watching, probably because he's watching. And I was like, fucking mind blown, for a bodybuilder, that's like everything, dude. Come on.
Sure,
it's pretty cool.
Well, what? It's been, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I don't know since we last talked. And I think things have gone just about as you'd expect. John has really ran with it. I have not quite done so just yet. But Feist is on a roll, man. He's jumping rope. He's hitting the gym. He's looking good, minus the Amishness. I mean,
you love that, didn't you?
I want to speak up for myself.
Quit churning butter.
The Amishness doesn't play on video. It plays better in person.
Yeah, I feel that, bro.
You're in the wrong world for that, homie.
My mommy tells me I look good every day.
So good, bro. Yeah, you definitely with one of them hats, bro, and like a blue shirt. You would be.
I got one of the hats. Don't you worry.
So I'll give you guys my internet perspective since last time I've been here. You guys ready?
Yep.
So Fights is texting me. He's training 3 times a day. I think this motherfucker is about to like just start going shirtless on the podcast. Like that's what he's acting like, right? So that's my perception. And Kevin, I know you want to. Yes. Took you a little while to get the bands. You're getting your stuff together. And when we talk, though, the questions you were asking me weren't bullshit. They were around injuries. They were about real lifestyle type stuff. So here's the thing with me. Once again, I'm going to preach consistency. We keep talking. We just keep moving in the right direction. And eventually, everyone will get where they need to be. And that's what I'm trying to represent here is like, we're all going through a bunch of dumb shit right now, right? In different circumstances. But if that part's present in your life, I think it makes it better. And I think you're getting there, bro.
You have done what nobody has ever been able to do. And I know that I'm lucky because, you're very successful and I wouldn't have access to you if I didn't do this. So I know not everybody can do this, but and they just, you sign up with like a New York sports club personal trainer. And my whole point is that you have mastered the staying on top of me without bothering me. Because I don't need someone yelling in my face. I don't need someone talking shit. But you would just text me and be like, hey, just want to, how's it going? Like, did you do anything today? And a couple days I did and many days I didn't. But just like having some accountability while not feeling like you're barking at me. For at least for me, and I'm sure there's plenty of people like me, that's huge, man. That's more important than anything that you can provide me.
Well, because my thing is like, look, I'm a really busy dude too, right? I've had businesses that have done well and been in positions where people did those things to me that I didn't appreciate, right? There's just that right amount of, I care about these guys. I'm creating a relationship with them. I know I can value, but they're not going to want to hear from me every day because I'm nuts, right? I already know that about myself. So I got to take it down to where it's a value of having a relationship long-term, which I believe can enrich people's lives. That's what my passion is, man. That's what I'm here to do. Honestly, I found it at a young age and I've been able to do it for a long time. And I can do it at the masses level. And, look, you guys have benefit. Like there's a lot of people that got motivated by hearing me here and I'm really appreciative of it.
The nice thing with us is that the bar is on the floor. Like Kevin is like, well, I'm talking about it, so we're winning.
Yes.
There we go.
Here's the levels. Here's my levels. I talk about it. I have to buy things. I have to buy like clothes and sneakers. Then maybe I'll do it. So I got like levels to go, and I'm getting through them. I'm like starting that negative. I'm fine with it.
I've gotten to the point where my brother. He was listening to the last episode we did, and he like got up right away. He's like, I gotta go work out. So I've done I started the jump rope, and then I just started doing regular workouts because I didn't think I was ready for yours. And now I'm on week 2 of like the dumbbell shred, and the app is like my favorite thing. I get in bed at like night, and then I watch the workout I'll have to do for tomorrow. I just like lay in bed. I'm like, okay, all right. So this is what we're gonna do tomorrow. Today we got like dumbbell rows with a double twist. I know what's coming today, and I'm like, all right, I'm excited to do that. Let's go. We're gonna get in shape today.
That keeping the excitement's everything. Because here's the difference: like a lot of people have friends that work out, right? Or they think their friend knows they can tell them what to do, but motherfuckers get bored, dude. And this is like not my hobby. This is my job. So my whole key is how can I creatively keep people engaged, get the results, and then continue to build the confidence in themselves. And so that's what I think about all day is that strategy and, what can I write that's article to keep people motivated? What kind of content can I do? It's just like you guys do for the sports crew and lifestyle. I'm doing that for just exercise specific. You know what I'm saying? I love it. It's unbelievable.
And you're honestly so good. Cause I don't hate working out. I've always enjoyed working out. I've always said that I like working out. It's just getting there, which is hard for me, but I hate doing the same thing. I'll never go on a run because I don't want to go run for 20 minutes. I'll never go on a bike ride. It's like, I don't want to go bike ride for an hour. That's just stupid. But you're so good at I do cross rope, which is a KFC radio sponsor, which gives you they do it's like 30 seconds jump rope, 40 seconds mountain climber, 30 seconds jump rope.
Interval stuff.
And then I do that in the morning and then your shit at night. And I'm like, this is exactly the Cory G workouts are exactly what I need to have.
Cool. Thanks, man. That means a lot, man. I just know, especially right now, a lot of people looking at that if they have 2 dumbbells, we talked about that. Some people only got 1, but if they got 2, they're like, all right, I know what to do with that the first week. But dude, we've been locked down for like 2 months straight.
Right.
Like you need to be creative, like, or you're not going to do it.
You know, it's been 2 months and it sounds like it might be several more. So like,
agreed.
We're getting to the point in quarantine where you're running out of excuses. You're running out of timeline. Like, oh, I'll do it when we go back. You know, there's no end in sight. So you better just fucking start now.
Absolutely.
What I think you do so well too with the dumbbell shred, at least the dumbbell shred is the one I've been following. Mm-hmm. And like I'm actually lucky. We have a pretty solid like gym here. We have like a squat rack, bench and stuff like that, but the bench doesn't do incline. So like, well, I've been working out before I got on the Cory G thing. I hadn't done any incline stuff. And you like teach someone like how to make an incline with like a couch cushion or some shit like that. You can make the other stuff that you just thought was impossible. You know,
dude, I saw dudes benching on a microwave. No lie. Some dude tagged me. He's benching on a fucking microwave. I was like, my dude, like this is what I'm talking about. You're going to get the gains is coming. Even I pull the damn microwave down, throw a towel on it. Like, I love that shit.
I saw a guy in the park. He was just lifting a fucking tree branch. Yeah. Like, first of all, that can't be very heavy. But second of all, dude, it was like a
but he's trying.
Yeah, he's doing something. Doing more than me, so I'm not talking shit. I was interested that you said you in that video that you tweeted at us, and I loved how you just fucking kill shot to that guy who was talking shit to you. I was like, is that supposed to be impressive? He's like, only because I tore my rotator cuff, didn't decide to have surgery, rehabbed it myself, got all the way back to 300 bench, and I'm just doing 225 like it's no problem. Other than that, not
smoking a stogie, motherfucker.
But I'm interested because I mean, my shoulder's a wreck, and I'm sure other people have dealt with it. How badly did you injure it? And like electing to not have surgery, is that something you would like recommend? Because mine was ruined and like had to have surgery. But I feel like looking back, if I didn't have to, I probably shouldn't have.
So here's what's interesting, right? So I ruptured my supraspinatus, which means it ripped off.
What is that?
That's one of your rotator cuffs. So you have 4, and it's one of the ones. And it basically, so I thought I had a partial for about 10 years. So a long time ago, I was doing a powerlifting meet, like 2010 roughly. And I had like the powerlifting suit on, whatever. I squat 700 pounds, and it was on my left, it's my left arm. The bar slid down my back a little bit with all that weight. And I think I partially tore it then. Cause in here, the way I look at it, when I compete, I'm there to hang it out. So if some shit happens, I'm cool with that over I am on a Tuesday on the gym just because I'm being a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm competitive. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm there to go to the hospital if I got to. But this was actually just, I thought I was getting ready to be done and the rack wasn't there and it slid down anyway. So I had a partial tear for like 10 years, but I think I got around it because I can do 35 pull-ups. I can do all these things. We're strong around it. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I was just, I'm always testing things, like to John's example, like to try to create new things. And I was trying just 185 on incline, but I was using this bar that had these crazy grips. So it was like super wide. I had no business doing it with understanding my injury. I was like, I'll get a bigger pump if I do this, some real meathead shit. And I do 3 reps and boom, it just goes. And it wasn't anything dramatic, but I knew something was serious. My dude took the bar and I couldn't drive my car home. I couldn't do a push-up on my knees. See, that's where when I snapped back at that dude. So, and here's the craziest part about that. Lifting is my life. I mean, there's no question. Like, I'm a fucking obsessed maniac. But I get to the point where I go see the surgeon and he's like, you're testing stronger than somebody that's ruptured it, but let's get the MRI. So it comes back. He's like, bro, he shows it to me. There's a gap like this and it looks white hot. He's like, it's gone, bro. And I'm like, well, fuck, what's that mean? He goes, well, here's the crazy thing. There's not really a handbook for guys like you. So could you get away with this if you don't get surgery? I really can't tell you. He said, but you might never, like, it's like a 10, 12 month down, like serious. And he said, here's the one that fucked me up though. I can only fix it for 12 weeks. After 12 weeks, I can't fix it ever. You're done. Like the decision. So that's what was weird. Cause not only is my hobby, it's my profession, is that the fact that I had to make a decision that will my shoulder fall apart when I'm 70 and I can't golf. You know what I mean? Like that was like heavy, bro.
Right.
Livelihood, hobby. I haven't missed more than a week's workout since I was 17.
Right.
Homie, like I couldn't even like understand 10 months. I'm like, you're talking what? Like I was like tripping. So that was probably one of the So a couple things. Best thing that ever happened to me, because my gratitude and appreciation, dude, I've competed and done crazy things with my body. I weighed 240, I weighed 165, powerlift. And that was the first real major injury I ever had in 20 years. So, so I had like a lot of gratitude for it, but I thought it was going to be taken away from me. And I really went out and saw all the smart people I knew, and I believed in myself. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can fucking rehab this motherfucker on my own. So here's what I did. Signed up for a bodybuilding show. That's what I did the next week. And so
just the total fucking opposite.
I said, fuck the world. I'm doing this. I signed up for a bodybuilding show, and I got so fucking shredded that I won. Now I won. We did the physique. I do the drug-free, drug-tested shows because I'm not, and I have weight classes and everything. But I did bodybuilding. I did the physique category. I win my pro card, which by the way was one of my goals, and I never reached before. I win my pro card in natural physique, and I was a little bit like kind of flat on I couldn't really do arms or shoulders the whole time, barely any chest. So I just had to go light, like 10 pounds, 8 pounds, like high reps, and just got fucking shredded. And then it just continued that process. And so, that's.
What do you think would have happened to you had you taken the surgery? Had you gone 10 months? So you think you become a couch guy?
So here's two things. One, it was my left arm. If it was my right arm and I could never throw with my kids, I would have got it done. To not be able to tell my 9-year-old I can't throw the baseball with him or football, because that's the motion. You literally can't do it. Like I couldn't throw with my left arm. It would kill me to throw something. So I was lucky that it wasn't that. So from a life standpoint, I would have had no choice. Like there's no way I could have not partaked in those actions as a dad, right? That's like some real talk. Here's what would have happened. I'd have been just now starting to lift again.
Shit.
And we would have been going through all of this. So not only from a businessman standpoint, but from like a mental standpoint, one, that would have been extremely challenging for me. I just know it because this is my life. And two, how could my business not suffer when I can't fucking train? I'm my best billboard. Like I'm a motivational motherfucker, but at the end of the day, like I lead by example. That's what my brand is. It always has been that way.
But also, I mean, I think that ended up being, I think if you're going to motivate, like injury is a part of this. And so now you have that relatability where it's like, if someone says to you, you never tore anything. You don't know anything about that. It's like, no, yes, I did. And I went the unconventional route.
Signed up for a bodybuilding show.
Yeah, right. So you're basically telling me that doctor and everyone you spoke to was like, you're a freak. You don't need to get surgery. Like everyone else would need to get surgery, but you're in such good shape. You can go with plan B.
He said, yeah. I think it's because I understand. And look, I'm not all the way out the woods yet, but I was benching 320 at 181, which is nothing crazy, but that's what I did. And I just missed 300 the other day. Like I made 275. I just missed 300. That's with my mom, or not my mom, with my wife and my kids spotting me. Like it's not, I'm taking it off. I'm out back. I'm smoking a stogie,
Right.
So, but I think that I was really optimistic because I understand how the body works from a standpoint, and not from like some like kinesiology. Like I'm not some academic cat, but I understand like where the bar needs to be, what needs to be. I knew that I needed a 3-to-1 ratio. I went and talked to this guy named Matt Winning, super smart guy. He's like a world record hold power lifter and has a bunch of like, credentials too. And he was like, look, the ratio is different from now on. You got to do a pull up, a row, and something rear delts before you're even able to press. So it's never, I can just go bench press anymore. I have to do things that's supported at such a level that then I can be safe and actually try to do heavy weights. And you only got so many like hang yourself out to dry reps in your life. And I just don't have a lot of those left in bench press, I guess. I might on squat or deadlift, but the ones that you're willing to go to the hospital, and I just have to be a little bit more strategic as a master's lifter now that I'm in my 40s. But
we were talking to Pat Oswalt the other day, and he was explaining, I think he had read Andre Agassi's autobiography. And Agassi was talking about like live in a match being like, okay, I forget who he was playing. He's like, I can beat this guy, but I know I don't have many of these like shots left. And he's like, to beat him, I will have to end my career. And Agassi did it. And he's like, I know to make this shot, like I'm going to tear this back here. And he did. And then they were both sitting in the hot ice tub after the match. And Agassi was like, that's it, I'm done. And
that's gotta be like a harrowing feeling, but like such a satisfying feeling, right? Like I did it forever. I did it until my last fucking breath. I won on my last match. and my work here is done. Like I did everything I could. I feel like that's got to be the ultimate accomplishment.
You know what's so eerie about my final powerlifting meet, we'll say, before I tore this, which I'll do more, but my final like one healthy was at my actual high school, 20 years after I've graduated, raising money for the weight room. And my grandparents and my grandfather, who's 93, who taught me how to lift weights, was there watching it. And to be honest with you, I will compete again because I'll get strong enough to be able to do it again. But if I never did, I'm okay.
That's
because that was I'm deadlifting 545, weighing 180. My grandma's cheering for me at my high school, which, by the way, when I said I was going to be a fucking lifter guy, people were like, are you fucking kidding me? 1997? Like, no one does that, you know? So to me, it was like kind of bittersweet anyhow. I think that's why I was at peace with it. Like, here's one thing about me, and I always urge people, like, my vibe is, dude, I'm giving everything I got. It might not be Mr. Olympia or world record, but I'm getting everything out of this body that's possible. And I had one small injury in my hip a long time ago, and I got through that. But this one was serious, and I'm proud of where I got back. That's when that motherfucker hit me up on Twitter. I don't usually, respond to clowns, but I'm like, man, fuck you, bro. Like, I'm excited because 225 looked like 100 pounds or like 20 pounds, and I got one less shoulder muscle.
Right. Fuck that, dude. Anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You were talking about, obviously talking about your kids earlier, and you were just talking about how people kind of like, I don't know if laugh's the right word, but kind of dismissed you in high school with like, you're going to make money weightlifting kind of deal. Would you like a weightlifter and a coal miner, and that kind of has the connotation of someone who's like, you got to do it the old school way. Say your kids came back and they're like, I have this new thing I'm going to try. Would you support that? Would you be like, no, you got to grind. You got to do this.
I got that going on right now. So my kid, AG, my oldest, he's like a Fortnite maniac. He's got a whole nother alias where, I probably shouldn't blow him out, but he's got like he's got the whole thing going on with the videos, and he's on the team, and he's doing great. But, I look at it like this. I see the amount of screen.
That's like the polar opposite of you, right? Video
Correct.
games, sit on the couch, eyes bleeding to the TV.
100%. And that's the problem, right? But if I think back how obsessed I was about lifting and reading and lifting and like I did it for hours because I wanted to be great at it. Mm-hmm. So what I try to do is the dad in me goes, motherfucker, get outside. Like, and he's in the video. He was lifting with me that day, and he'll do that. And he's good at baseball too. But it's one of those things where I know that's what he's excelling at. He's got thousands and thousands of followers, and he's doing really good. So I try to be like, a dad in the now that understands social media, but also be like, yo, like I'm getting up at 3 to go work out and he's still up. I'm like, bro, I can't deal with this right now. Like you got to get it. I go to his room. He's like, I'm almost done. Motherfucker, you're done right now. Like, go to bed. So there's.
The other half of you is pretty modern with social media, the internet, podcast. So you understand the value of that. I
do. I always think about that. How hard that must be for like a dad, because like my dad's like a very business guy and like old school, like you want a job, go pound the pavement, bring your resume around kind of deal. Sure. And when I was like, I'm going to come start blogging, he's like, you're doing what? And he didn't discourage it. And he helped.
Didn't understand it though.
Yeah. But my dad was the total opposite. My brother was working in commercial real estate with him, and I never really did it. And then when my brother came over to Barstool, he like went to my dad and was kind of like, yo, man, like, I'm sorry. I think I'm like going to kind of bail on the family business. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? Go
like, do it.
You can just podcast and hang out and talk about chicks and sports. Like, this real estate shit is for the birds, man. So it kind of can go both ways.
Yeah. I had a great talk with your brother, by the way, when we talked some diet that one time. It was really cool.
Oh, you want to talk diet?
He was fun.
Yeah.
Well, the diet that's the one spot where you're not gonna get me.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, we're getting those three time a day workouts though. We'll make it work.
The workouts I'll join 100%, but like I still drink every night, and I eat pretty well, but I still have like 2 or 3 drinks a night. Now I have not moved on. I'm just out of whiskey. But
moving on from whiskey and not having any, those are 2 very different things.
Like literally the moment we hang up, I'm gonna go do a liquor store.
That's amazing. I've moved on.
I have been doing martinis, like gin and vodka martinis, which
wow.
How I deal with like the diet aspect of it is I just don't look anything up, and we just like Venmo calories, like you don't really know.
Yeah.
And it's like, so like, I don't know how many calories are in a glass of whiskey or in a martini.
When you're drinking, you're just drinking, bro.
Right. So I'm like, I eat fairly healthy. I don't eat as much candy.
Yeah, you're not like me, man. I feel like you're always eating like grilled chicken and like normal.
When I eat meals, I eat healthy, but I'm a snacker.
Right.
And I'm a drinker. So at night, it's almost like, right, I actually have likened it very much because my family's been like, you drink a lot of protein shakes. And I'm like, well, every time I exercise, I drink a protein shake.
There you go.
Because it's like a nightcap for your workout.
Yes.
And I like to have my nightcaps too.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Speaking of that, me and the wifey was doing some Irish car bombs a couple weeks ago, man. And I was fucking like.
I haven't done a car bomb.
Wait. You're doing car bombs at home?
Yeah, bro, I got a pub in my basement. So I got Guinness on tap, and I got Blue Moon on tap in my basement. So we were going straight Irish coffee. She drinks Guinness too. It's amazing. So we go to a pub and we're like, 2 pints of Guinness, or we went to Ireland and went to Guinness. It was amazing. So yeah, we're huge Guinness fans. So yeah, I'll drink me a couple pints, every Friday. But a couple Fridays ago, we're in quarantine. I went live. I started dropping Irish car bombs. Shit got fucking funny. And I got the music on. I mean, yeah,
How many Guinnesses do you have on like a regular Friday?
So on a regular Friday, probably like the low end would be 2, but the high would be 5. So, 5/16s would be on like my bender day, I guess you could say. I think it's pretty serious.
That's a good amount though. That's not like I have of Guinness. That's like
No. I usually chug the first 1 to 2 and then sip on the rest. I'm pretty serious. Like, hey, I've been giving it all week. I'm ready to get it on Friday.
I want to have a Cory G versus Feidelberg challenge. 1 week I live Cory G's life. 1 week you live my life.
Who would like go crazy and crack first? I don't know. I think
because he still works out. I think he'd be fine. But if you're taking care of my kids, bro, I don't know.
You got no shot there, bud.
Yeah, right, dude. I'd just be up playing fucking Fortnite. I'd crush it. I wouldn't be teaching good values, but I'd be a good dad for a week.
AG would probably like you better. You'd be battling him. That's fucking classic. That is a hard balance, though, is being a dad, being aware of social media, try not to embarrass them too much, trying to support them. It's definitely a weird dynamic. A lot of the kids at the high school do my workouts and take the supplements, and it's interesting. So I try to keep my distance as much as possible.
Listen, I don't think you're embarrassing them. Coming from a guy who is on a very regular basis, you being in good shape and working out is not embarrassing. Okay. Don't worry about that.
There's always that dynamic, though. You know how it goes.
I know what you mean, but you're very far from being an embarrassment. So don't ever think that.
My TikTok, I don't know. Sometimes
I was just about to say before we go, TikTok is for hot people. I could see like fancy workout routines and like workout accomplishments being playing very well on TikTok. Yep. So how is that career going?
Yeah. So, man, I was hot out the gate, bro. Went from 0 to 24,000 followers, a big mix of like women that are older, that are acting crazy, and a lot of young girls asking if I need a stepdaughter, which is a little strange. So it's been an interesting mix, but
dude, I don't even know how they're asking that, man. I spent time on the internet to not know what they mean specifically by that. I don't know if they want to hang out at your house or fucking hang out at your house.
Dude, it's real, bro. Like, there's some fucking hilarious comments that are like my daughter, like obviously she won't even accept my friendship on TikTok. It's so good, dude. But I did a little, I'll throw some R&B in there every now and again. But at the end of the day, like it's actually my natural personality. So that's what I try to remember is anytime I do social media or any type of content, it's like I really just am myself. And I would be around the house acting a fool, dancing to old R&B or rap songs or whatever it is. Like that's how I am in real life. So it really isn't that big a difference for me. It's just that then if one goes viral, then your kids are kind of like, but to me, it really wasn't that much of a stretch, which is kind of funny, but it feels kind of natural.
Dude, if TikTok comes naturally to you, fucking run with it, because I would love to be in that camp. And it's just like, not me, but if I could be, I'd be all about it.
I always play the role like of when you do the content, just hit the button. Unless you're saying some shit that's like sideways, like if you're just doing it and you believe like that was your natural push, to do that song or do that. I try not to overthink it, man. Or even like, I'll see the clips from what we do here, but I probably won't even I'm not going to go back and listen to every specific thing. No. Like I've just never been that way, bro. I'm a one take homie. Let's go and keep it moving.
I think that makes it easier too with like you said, you don't usually like snap on haters and stuff like that. I think it makes it easier if you're just like, I mean, it's just me. I know everyone's not going to like me. Because no one on the planet likes everyone. So it makes it like if you have this character that you've contrived, I feel like that hurts more to hear that's not liked because you're like, oh, I designed this for everyone to like and people to like it. Like me, it's like, look, I get it. Like if you tell me you don't like me, I fucking get it 100%. So it's not
same.
It's not as heartbreaking to hear. Like, all right, I get it. It's fine.
Especially not after 10 years of being online doing content. Like early on when I was just a personal trainer inside the gym and I only dealt with 15 or 20 people and I was always so positive. The first time somebody come at me online, I'm like, this motherfucker don't know me. Like I don't know. But the reality is you can't think that way. So once I understood kind of the whole dynamic of it. Yeah, I'm just, I just know I'm helping a heavy amount of people, and those people that are haters, they just don't want to partake in it. Whatever, they can move it on. It doesn't bother me too much.
That's the name of the game, brother.
I want to be like you guys.
What's that?
I want to be like you guys.
Don't say that.
It's pretty easy. Just stop doing everything you do.
You can, Cory. It's the easiest thing in the world, bro.
This guy, the fuck out of here. I seen you guys' studio when I came to the office. I see the work you guys put in. I got a lot of respect, and I love podcasting. It's a lot of fun, and the impact. And what I love about your guys' style of content is, man, a lot of people are having a lot of like trying times right now, and they can come to you guys and just really like laugh and enjoy themselves and go somewhere else for a little while. I think that's what Barstool offers for a lot of people, dude. Mine is still kind of making them feel bad about themselves sometimes because I'm like, get your shit together. But at the end of the day, it's in the same vein, just in a different area. But I don't know if you guys realize like how much, and you probably do, but like I've ran into some people around town that are huge fans of your guys. And like, they're just like, I've been listening to them for so long. And I just heard you on there randomly, Cory. That was so cool. And like, I can just go there and just really get like a break. You know what I'm saying? And laugh. And so kudos to you guys. It's all very needed right now. Believe me.
If you could tell someone as a kid, like, hey, when you grow up, you can possibly be someone's recess, you'd be like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Right. Bro, are you kidding me?
I'll take that. I'll be your fucking recess.
Dude, all day. And I get that a lot too, because as people start to build confidence through the programs and the things they're doing and just the belief systems that I'm preaching in my crazy ways, it does help change people over time. And I take a lot of pride in that, man, because that makes it all worth it, bro. I mean, that's why we do what we do. You know what I mean?
I'm very nervous about like once we're out of quarantine, because then it gets hard again. It's weird. Like it's easy for me because we have like this gym here and stuff like that. You actually, because I'm gonna have to move in the fall, so you have me looking for a 2-bedroom apartment now instead of a 1-bedroom. So I'm like, I can't go back to a gym. Oh heavens, no! Like I've worked out for a month now. I've graduated from gyms. I need my own home gym.
There's a lot of people thinking like that because, and even me, I own a gym, but policing it, opening it back up, and doing things the proper way, it's going to be tricky. I mean, it's real hard. And I miss it. Like I've been going to my own gym, 5 times a week since I was 19 years old. It's weird, man.
Right. Well, I mean, you're doing your best, and I feel like everyone's, following along with it, doing their best. So good on you. And let's keep like a regular update. Stay on.
Oh yeah, and I'll be texting you.
Yep. All right. I appreciate that, man.
You and your Amish friend. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Cory, man. Good talking about it.
All right, later.